Yay, hey. Guess where I am? I'm at Beach RC, dude. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're live at Beach RC. We made the 3.5 hour, about 3 hour drive down here this morning. We're good internet. So we can do this live. You know what? Uh, yeah, good stuff. We got cars in the background here, as you can hear, like some metro cars, all that good stuff. Which intro should we drop this week, Max? Should we drop the Nationals intro or should we drop the intro for the
I mean,
podcast?
we're still doing like the Nationals recap, so I think we should drop the National one.
I agree. And you know what? We need all you guys to share this stuff. We want to get over 100 viewers this week. We're doing this live. We got some big news to talk about her. So you know what, Max? I think it's time to drop the Nationals intro one last time before we finish up her. Yeah, let's do that.
Nitro is the glory.
Yes, indeed. Nitro is the glory, but Ebuggy pays the bills. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 131 of the No Name RC podcast. I'm your host, Keno White, aka Left of the Great, and on the screen, he's to my right, but in real life, he's to my left. Maximus Mortimus. What's up, Max, with his army hat?
I'm doing good. Finished work a few hours ago. Been chilling. Just released a new video. That's why I was a bit late from the podcast. Oh, someone walking in front of the screen.
Okay, I was getting a little bit worried.
Yeah.
So, hey, we are live from Beach RC. Me and Mike Hill, the real Mike Hill, and I made a trip early this morning. We woke up at 5 and we was on the road by 6, and we came down here because it has good internet. We're gonna have Brent on, and I mean, it's cool. We're gonna do some racing here afterwards, I think, and have fun. So, hey, look, guys, we need you to share this. Excuse me. We have a lot to talk about. I have some news to say after this, sir, and I don't know. There's a button on there. We can do super chats and stuff like that. So if you guys feel like supporting the podcast and doing some super chats, that helps us out a lot too. And I think we're gonna open up the phone lines here later on. But yeah, we got some information. We got a lot to talk about. And nice hat, Brenner, bro. He's talking about that's David. So before we go any further, I want to say shout out and say thank you to all of the NNRC squad around the world. Without you guys, we couldn't do this. The Facebook is growing. We blew up this week. We was at the Nationals. We got to see everything how it unfolded. I have some more video that I'm going to release this week, hopefully, if Rowan gets his act together and gets in her. Max, why don't you just message Rowan and tell him to come in here because he's got some video to set up and all that there. Shout out to the patrons of the podcast. Without you guys, we couldn't do this. You guys helped us go to the Nationals. We had a blast. And I want to say shout out to Mike Hill, because if it wasn't for him, I would not have been able to do this. He was my transportation. He was taking all the videos that you saw. He did a good job. He was also like a fly on the wall. He got a lot of good scoops and good information and caught things. I was super happy about that. We knocked it out of the park. We're looking already at what we can do better. And hopefully we can do this again for you guys because we had a good time. And just to check, how are our levels? If we're a little bit low, let us know so we can adjust our volume. If you do hear some background noise, they're running 10 scale behind us on the track here, which we'll be doing later. So thank you to Mike Hill for that. And I have to shout out the awesome sponsors because they helped us go there too. So, of course, we have Mayako, TNR Fuels, High Tech RC, Sun City RC Raceway, obviously Beach RC, Techno RC, Manscaped.com, Lugs RC, JQ Racing, Racecraft USA, Wally Builds, Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, House of RC. We had a lot of help from him doing the NNRC Cup and stuff we'll talk about. JQ Threads, and I think I said Wally Builds. Remember, I thank you, Daiquiri Man, for this super sticker. It's working. Thank you. We appreciate that. Share this, guys. Share this. We need to make this go viral. We have a lot to talk about. So thank you to all the sponsors. And remember, showing the sponsors some love, shows the podcast some love. Let's talk about the Nationals. But before we get into the Nationals, Max, just a little chit chat. You was out testing this weekend?
Yeah. Yeah, I was out testing. I've been enjoying the summer. It's been almost 30 degrees for a few days. Today we had a huge storm, so probably not going to be practicing for a while. But let's see. I mean, I've been enjoying summer, to be honest. So that's where I'm at.
Really? So summer's been going good for you. You're having fun, doing summery things. That's always a good thing. You was camping this weekend too, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's also one thing. Well, we do camping on winters, but it's a lot more fun during the summer. So
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be
been fun
camping
as
in
well.
below, like, when reindeers are freezing, you don't want to be out there. So that's how it kind of works. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, we went to the Nationals, Max. Thanks for your help as well with joining us. I know it was a little bit difficult, but it worked out fine. It was kind of difficult because people were watching the racing and we didn't really get that much people on. But for everybody that tuned in and joined us, we appreciate it. Thank you for coming on and watching us during the Nationals. It was awesome. We greatly appreciate the support. So, anywho, you know what, Max? You know what? Before we go on any further, I have to pay some bills right off the bat because I haven't been paying no bills this week. So I gotta pay some bills here. I'm just trying to find it, and we're gonna go in and talk about something that it didn't happen at the Nationals, but happened during the Nationals or just after the Nationals, which is the only bit of news that I want to talk about. So before I go any further, I want to talk to you guys about Manscaped.com. As you guys know, this podcast is sponsored by Manscaped. I just got the Lawnmower 4.0. I've used it. I love it. They sent me a new shirt. The new Lawnmower 4.0 is wireless charging. It does not cut you. Trust me. I went down and did some aggressive manscaping, and I saved. I was able to. That was up. We got people walking across her. That's great. We're in a hobby shop. We're on a track, and yeah, go get yourself Lawnmower 4.0 care package. It comes with like ball deodorant, underpants, and a t-shirt and other stuff to take care of your family jewels. I love it. I'm gonna be when I get back home, I'll be manscaping again. I'm grateful that on her end. Please, if you guys can, go to www.manscaped.com. Use the promo code no name in all caps, and you will save 20% off your order. And you guys can get this delivered for free to anywhere in America and Canada. Not in Europe yet, but I believe they have I don't know if they have the Lawnmower 4.0 in Europe. Hey guys, please share this. Please share this. We need to share this. Okay, so Max, big news coming out of the Nationals. Not unexpected. Horizon has bought AKA. What do you think about this?
Yeah, well, there's a few things to say about this. First is, as you said, the same week the Nationals happened, they bought AKA. So to me, it's pretty freaking obvious. They were trying to do it at a time where it gets as little as possible the media space. I mean, I think that's very, very clear. Then to what this sale actually means. So what they said is they bought the assets. Well, they bought the assets of AKA, which means that they just own the company AKA, but they don't own the business of AKA.
I don't understand that.
Which in real life terms means that AKA works as its own entity and has power over its own, like they can have their own CEO, they can have their own manufacturing and that, but Horizon Hobbies just owns their debt basically. So what I think happened was AKA was nearing bankruptcy, and Horizon Hobbies said, okay, we're going to take your debt, and now we own you. I believe that's what happened. It could be that Horizon just bought them with money, but most likely I believe AKA was like nearing bankruptcy, and Horizon just bailed them out and keeps AKA going now.
Yeah,
so that's
I
my
believe
take
that's
on
what's
it.
gonna. I believe that's what's gonna happen. I mean,
that's the only reason why they would buy just the assets. Because if they really wanted like AKA tires as well, they would buy the company and their like business as well. But they only bought the assets. So that's what I think.
I'm a little bit. I mean, I think this was just natural. We knew this was going to happen. I mean, AKA has not been under the best management for many years now. I mean, even when we was running them, it
But
was hard to
managing
get.
will stay though. Managing
Well,
won't.
well, they
Management,
will be.
everything.
Go
Yeah,
ahead. Let me. I believe, like you said, management will stay, but now they'll be able to be more productive. If they were smart, what they would do is move production of AKA over here to the East Coast and produce Proline tires and AKA tires here, and then that's easier shipping over to Europe, and it's easier to cater to all the people here on on the East Coast. So it's going to be
but I
interesting
don't
to see
think
how this
they.
goes.
Yeah, but I mean, but still, that's not gonna happen because AK is still its own company. Nothing really changes. Just the name on the paper changes, really. So pretty much the only thing that changes for AKs now is we are short for money. Let's ask Horizon to have some. That's pretty much the only thing that's gonna change here. That's what I
We got
think, at least.
we got Brent here. He's going to join us in a bit. He's been so gracious to have us down here. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see this, but we'll see. I don't
But
think. Do you
like,
think they're going to dissolve AKA or just make their products?
I don't think anything's gonna change. Nothing's gonna change. I believe.
Really?
I mean, to
A lot of
me,
people are worried.
because yeah, but the thing is, they don't. They bought Proline, the company. They bought their business. With
Mhm.
AKA, they don't own the business. They own the assets of AKA. So everything AKA owns, Horizon owns, except for the business. So the workers and all that. Horizon doesn't
Mhm.
own that. So pretty
I
much
get that.
Horizon cannot do anything. They can just say, okay, we want to seize all your machining, but they don't still have the company AKA. They can seize their stock, they can seize their how they make their tires and their patents and all that. But that's all they can seize. So if they wanna like disband AK altogether and lose money, then yeah, they can do that. But if they want to keep AK going and try to make a profit and then just cash in on that profit, they can do that as well. So to me, what's most likely going to happen is AK is going to continue doing the same thing. If they need loans, Horizon Hobby will grant them the loans, and they don't have to apply themselves, which make their life much easier. They don't have to worry about financial stuff because Horizon is going to be their backer. So for AK, it's a win-win. For Horizon, it's a no-brainer. So I don't know. If to me, I don't believe. I mean, if AK wants to, they can obviously like be more in part of Horizon or
Mhm.
Proline for that matter. But I don't see really the point. Why would Horizon only buy the assets if they really wanted to make something new about AKA?
Yeah, it has a good bit of people confused. It has a good bit of people worried. I think that nothing's going to change. I think maybe production will go up a little bit. Like they'll be able to make more
Yeah.
tires.
Yeah,
So I
stock
think
will
that's going to
be.
be
They will have more stock most likely. That's gonna be the biggest change if they do it correctly, obviously. But yeah,
Max is like if they do it correctly.
yeah. Well, that's not
um,
a given with RC companies.
no, it's not. It's not at all. It's not at all. All right. So, like I said, you might see people walking across us here. Like I said, we're at Beach RC doing this live. We got 66 people, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We got Nicola Marone coming on, and I just want to say to people, look, before I did this, and before we get in this, we had a special guest, a recording on before I did this, and I've talked to the president of Raw, Chuck Kleinhagen. I think I'm getting some feedback from you there, Max. Check your mic. Um, I did that. Hey, sorry, you can go right across here if you want. Just make it easier. No worries. Thank you. Sorry about that. So, yeah, just to say that I did have Raw on her. Joseph and I talked to him. Max, you got to check your stuff. I'm getting some feedback from you, dude. Check your
What's
stuff,
going
dude.
on?
I'm getting feedback from you. Check your mics. Yeah,
How's
you
that
got me coming
happen?
through you got me coming through your speakers. Put your earphones on.
Let me try.
I'm gonna mute you for now. So we did talk to Raw Joseph and I and get their side of the story. I'm gonna put that up on Patreon here after this for the patrons, and then it will be released tomorrow or probably tomorrow as just a podcast. But we wanted to, we wanted to talk about the nationals and all that type of stuff before we, before we do that. What's up, Joey Showers? What's up, Charles McKenzie? What's up, Paul Rodman? What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for tuning in. Max going in there to figure out what's going on with his mic. We're going to take some of your questions, so we're going to open up the phone lines. NNRC underwear? No. G for Raw President? Maybe, but we talked to the Raw President. What's up, Chris Boyder? What's up, EK J24000? Thank you to everybody that shared our videos. I mean, I hope we can, if you haven't, go check out our YouTube and hit that that sub button and give us some likes. Max, are you there? Hello, Max.
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know what's. I tried to connect my headphones. Something's funky here.
All right. So I say, you know what, Max? Let's. Anything else to add about AKA before? Excuse me. Before we go in and really dig in deep into the Raw Nationals.
Well, not really. I think AKA will keep the same.
I think people don't have to be worried about anything unless people just I blatantly don't want to support. They don't want to support Horizon and they leave. I think that might be the biggest fear, but that's about it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right, guys. You know what? It's time to get in and talk about the Raw Nationals. And this podcast is brought to you by High Tech RCD. They are a leader in RC systems, delivering the highest performance and reliability, supported by dedicated customer service personnel. The HSB 931TH servos have efficient brushless motors, titanium gears, low consumption, constant output, and a metal case. The RDX2 Pro charger can charge up to 2 4-cell packs in just 45 minutes and provide the power for your engine heating and tire warming needs. Trust in High Tech, your server and charger headquarters. Visit hightechrcd.com, where to buy to find your newest retailer. Thank you to High Tech for coming on and sponsoring the podcast. We greatly appreciate it. All right, Max. So I got to talk about this. I'm going to call Brent. I know Brent wants to talk about Raw, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, I would like to talk about the actual Nationals. So we rode in there on Monday. Mike Hill and I made the trip up to get acquainted with the building, with the area, and everything like that. And I have to say, first off the bat, it's up in the middle of Pennsylvania. There isn't much around, but it is beautiful up there. You see old farmhouses, corn. I did not get to see any Amish. I got to see one, but he was racing across the track, like the road in front of the track. I didn't get to see any horse and carriage Amish guys. I did not get to see that, unfortunately. But I will tell you this: when I pulled into this track, pictures don't do it justice. This facility is absolutely beautiful. I mean, I did a facility walk, and people got to see a little bit of it. But I mean, it's okay. First off, it's a hobby shop as well, and a track, as well as a ATV motocross shop. So they have a really badass shop in the back that's air conditioned, really nice. Because the owner used to be factory Suzuki or something like that, ATV mechanic, and just everything about this. Whenever you and Joseph talk about what type of facilities you want, this facility has everything you want. It has gravel roads, it has ample parking, hookups for RVs, you can camp. It has a beautiful track, driver stand, maybe a little bit small, can only fit about 13 people, but it has wheelchair accessibility. It goes up 1A and down the other way like most rostrums. The hobby shop is well stocked. They have internet. The internet's a little bit janky, but it's kind of rural, so that's about it. The staff are extremely friendly. They were super helpful. I cannot say, and the guy Kevin, he runs a tight ship. This is how it's gonna be. He doesn't have any he knows what he wants to do, and he does everything his way. And honestly, I think the only reason this race worked was because of the hard work of him, his family, and his crew of people that put in the work to do it. They're the ones who, when the schedule was behind, they're the ones who made things happen. So yeah, shout out to Kevin, his wife Krista. They're a family-run organization, and they put on a great show. They've done this before, so they knew what they were doing. And man, after it rained and all that stuff, they were out there hard working, doing this, and they greeted you with a smile, made sure you was happy. And like I said, everything you want. It had big compressor with multiple earth stands away, so you didn't hear it. It was around the corner, so you didn't have to hear people blowing off their cars, all that type of stuff. it was just good. Electricity everywhere, loudspeakers everywhere, so you can hear what was going on too. So, on the facility side of things, absolutely amazing, beautiful facility. The only thing I can complain about is it's just rural. Like it was nothing much around. Like to eat, you had to kind of hurry up and get out of there so you can go eat. There wasn't much stuff around. We had to drive about 30 minutes to go to a Walmart. But that's the only complaint I really have about the facility is that we can't change that. They couldn't have a facility like that out in the city. And man, I think they can put a couple more tracks in there, but just an awesome facility, man. Honestly, I felt like I was in Europe for a second.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like when we talked about this, I think yesterday on a phone call, like America really needs facilities like this because going to race like DNC, PNB, it's always like track, pit, nothing else. Like they always make the track so that there's just the track and the pit lane and the driving stand. Then like a field where people put up tents or at PNB or all those other East Coast races, they just have like the stadium you put your attention in pit. So there isn't really a facility like here where it's like purpose built for RC. So I feel like this always like builds the atmosphere in the pits, and you really want to stay at the pits, even like wrenching for the night. So I feel like this is something like people miss out on in America, and obviously they have campers there, yes, but it's much better when everything is like built for it. And as you said, like you had to go get food somewhere else. In Europe, we always have food at the track, and it's always
they had a food
good.
truck. They had a food truck, and it was good food. They had and there was restaurants close by. It's just that they closed early, so you had to you know, it was they had a food truck on there, and no worries, man. You guys can walk across. That's fine. Thank you. They had a food truck there. It was good food. I did enjoy that, but you know, to go get a really good, they had a nice meal. To go get a really good meal, you had to go a little further. But otherwise than that, there wasn't really nothing else I could complain about. Just amenities. That's it. It wasn't like being in a big city type of area, but the track and all that stuff was good. Like, that facility can hold anything, any race in the world, and the people behind it can do it.
Yeah, I can give an example of like Euro's warm up 2012. The race like rained out, and then we were like waiting for the track to dry, and the F1 race was on the cafeteria. This was in Austria, in Fairing, where we held the RCGP 2 years ago. This is an amazing facility. It's one of my all-time favorites ever, and they always have really good food at the track. They always have like everything sorted out, and everyone was in, like, it was so packed. It was like full of people watching F1. People were cheering. Then on the other screen there was a football game, like, and it was like El Clasico, so like people are like excited. Italians and Spanish people were like cheering, and that's what we really want to see at like big RC race. And that was only the Euros warm up. It wasn't at the Euros, and it's always like that's really cool, and that's what you need to have at the RC track. Like, you really want the people to stay at the track, and people were ordering beer from there. People ordering like all kind of beverages there on the bar at the track. They were ordering food. So I mean, it was just incredible. Like, the whole feeling there. People are like talking together, having fun. Some people are wrenching with their cars, going to watch the F1 race for a while, then going back. And it's like everyone's there together. Everyone's there to have fun, and like it's still a race. So that's really what America, I feel like, is missing out at some races. Because it's always like hotel track. So
it was like this. I must say, the Northeast crew welcomed us, the NNRC. The love for the NNRC was awesome up there. So I want to shout out to all the Northeast racers and just everybody. There's a lot of Southeast racers up there that came, and we had a great time with them. And honestly, they made it worth the while. Everybody's like, "Hey, you want a beer? You want food? You want this? You want that?" I was like, "Yeah, but I'm not drinking. I'm drinking water. I'm drinking that. I'm drinking this." Well, guys, you know what? We're gonna go pay some bills real quick. I once again, shout out to the Northeast racers. Shout out to the LCRC crew. They were exceptional. We have two of our guests. We have Brent here and we have Nicola. We're going to pay some bills and then we're going to come back. So you know what? Check this out.
BeachRC.com, the racers' one-stop online hobby shop. Choose from all the popular brands and variety in stock with super fast shipping and great customer service. BeachRC.com still has the local hobby shop feel with all the benefits of the internet. BeachRC.com is the exclusive distributor for Ultimate Racing, JQ Racing, Pro Circuit Racing Tires, Nitro Lux Fuels, and Assault RC Performance products. So fill up your cart and check out at BeachRC.com today.
All right, Nicola, how are you? 1 second. I'm gonna adjust Brent's volume here. He can't hear anything. And go ahead, Max. Go ahead, Nicola. Welcome to the NNRC. Welcome, Brent Dansford, as well. I'm just gonna sort out his audio while I do that real quick.
Hi, guys.
Okay, Nicola, we have to put you up a little bit. We can't hear you. So let me see.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Nicola.
It's okay. My audio work.
Yeah, we can hear you. I'm just
Yeah.
going to put up the volume a little bit. What's up, Brent? How are you?
I'm good.
I'm just going to fix his hearing, and I'll be right back. All right, Nicola, you can go ahead and tell us how you guys feel. I know that you are the owner of Hot Race. Two of your drivers were disqualified this week from there. They were probably drivers that could have done some really good. You know, Cole was looking good and Ty was looking good. Unfortunately, Cole was a little bit faster than Ty in his semi, and he got disqualified due to fuel. And the same thing happened to Ty. So they're your racers, the Hot Race guys. How do you feel about this? Hello? Did you hear me?
I think he might have cut out.
Can you hear us, Nicola? Hello?
The two have some problem with the line because I listen nothing right now.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I
Can you
think
hear
the
me?
internet connection is breaking
Try
up
to
a
come
bit.
again, okay?
Okay, we're gonna come in without camera this time and see if that works for you. All right, Brent, you can go ahead. I'm gonna fix your volume real quick. Nicola, we're gonna bring you out and come back in.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna take the show now, I guess.
I can't hear nothing, so
Oh, you can't hear
you
me?
can talk, but I don't know. I'm a little
Okay,
bit
so
confused.
this is gonna
My
this,
head's
this is
like
gonna be
silent. It's never silent.
this is gonna be exciting. I'm gonna have to talk to Brent, and he's gonna have to guess what I'm saying. So, so obviously, like what we're gonna go into is Nicola, owner of the Hot Race tires, and two of the top drivers in America, Cole and Ty Tessman, disqualified last weekend. So people probably already know this, and the fuel
Small
gate is
technical difficulty,
widely on
guys.
the social media, but that's something that people were conspiring about. It is this sort of a conspiracy against an European manufacturer.
There we go.
I would personally say probably not, but it's still an unfortunate coincidence that it was both of Nicola's drivers that
I had it in the wrong
got the
number.
DQ. I think we're getting back to the podcast now. Yeah, I'm running the show. I'm the boss now.
All right, Brent. So, well, thank you. We're here at Beach RC. Thank you for having us here. Rowan, can you hit up Nicola and see if you can get him back on, please? And thanks for coming on. Thanks for having us here. We appreciate it. I know you're busy. It's tourist season, so you got people back there renting cars and driving, and it's cool to see. It was fun. We spent the week at the Nationals. How was your Nationals?
It was awesome. I mean, you can't say enough about the Mamas and the beautiful facility of LCRC, and it's always good to get to see our RC friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's always the fun part about traveling to these big races. But yeah, I had an amazing time. You know, all aside with everything else that was going on, you know, my personal experience was pretty good. I'm not a very high qualifying or good driving racer, but I don't go there for that. I go there for multiple other reasons. So, but yeah, had a great time.
Nicola back.
Yeah, he had a great time. He has some thoughts about this whole thing, and I'm glad Nicola's here. So, you know, hey, Nicola, can you hear us? I don't think he can hear us. I don't know what's going on.
Should we try with just audio? I think that could work better.
I can do that. All right, Nicola, I'm going to call you on Facebook, and we'll bring you in through there, okay? All right, Mike. So Brent, I know the hot topic is all about raw and whatnot. Was I not wrong? First of all, was I not wrong with the facilities? It's absolutely beautiful and it's A1 and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I'd said it was the nicest outdoor track I've been to yet. The facilities are so well thought out and laid out. Their crew was amazing. The track was fun. It was well drained. They were prepared for these type of events, the rain to happen. They're no stranger to a big event for sure. So yeah, that event was nice. And of course, when we go into an event like the Roar Nationals and you have a sanctioning body that is when you're that close.
Yeah, you got to get
even
right
better.
into the mic.
My bad. But yeah, when you've got an event like that is it's so prestigious to the racer and the industry, and you show up so unprepared, it's frustrating. It's frustrating as somebody that knows the ins and outs of running an event or preparing for events. And I mean, you see all the hard work that the mamas put in for that event and their crew, and then they come in and they kind of, it's like I told Kevin right when I first got there, I was like, man, I just hope Roar doesn't put a skid mark on your facility in this event, because they were prepared. And for me, I was correct. They did. So
I must admit, the mamas, the track crew, if it wasn't for them, that event would not have went as smoothly as it did, because Roar honestly came in there and like practice was just a shit show. Like, I'm not gonna lie, we had a 2-minute warm up for we had a 2-minute pre-practice for practice, and they only had one round of practice, or was it two, and then another one after that.
Well, what they ended up doing was taking away one of the seating rounds and giving us 2 practice rounds, which probably should have been the opposite. But everything worked out. Everyone had the same track. It just was the schedule change after schedule change that it was the same thing in 2019.
Yeah, and I mean, come on, like open practice at a sanctioned national race, that's a joke to me.
Yeah, but that wasn't Roar. That was the track, and I believe that's a way for them to generate funds. I agree, it should have been done in heats, but not everybody was there too.
Well, it was done in heats.
Yeah.
But then they had that line where you can.
Well, yeah, they allowed what they call it, the reserve line, or something like that, and it was good. It was good in concept, but they did do it by heats. They were allowing people, if somebody didn't show up, to go up there and run in their spot, which take it as you want, but it could have. That's the least of my worries when it comes down to the way that it was ran.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but I think that just sets a precedent for the whole event. Like, starting out poorly just sets you can see, like, that's the thing about Euros. It's like, it's planned. Like, half a year before the event, it's gonna be practice round on Tuesday at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. It, and it's gonna be this many hits and this many drivers.
Can you hear us,
like,
Nicola?
I think that's the okay. Yeah.
Now I think it's
Nicola has really bad internet in Italy.
Yeah.
now
He's in the southern parts of Italy.
Can you hear us now, Nicola?
Yeah, now it's okay.
Okay. All right, guys. So we got it worked out. We got Nicola Marone. I believe he is the owner of Hot Race. How are you, Nicola? And welcome to the NNRC again. You've been on her before.
Thank you so much. I'm okay. I'm very good, and here in Italy, fortunately now we are okay, and everything on point right now.
Okay, well, that's always good to hear. So I have to say this, man. I honestly feel that the Hot Race drivers were on a whole different level this past weekend. Not just Ty and Cole, but just even the regular guys. I mean, Pavita's done well, and Mechanic done well. So congratulations to Hot Race. I mean, you guys are definitely stepping up your game and becoming a formidable force in the off-road world.
Thank you. Yeah, was really good. I was in contact with my drivers, with the TJ Bradley every day, and they felt really comfortable, and I was really happy. Then everybody know what's happening in the last day, but But to be honest, looks like we won the race because everybody's contacted us and about the tires that was super good during the week. So really looks like we received a lot of email, a lot of messages, and really looks like we won the race, but we not won. So it's not the same thing.
Yes, yes.
To be honest, I am happy because really was everything on point, and drivers and customers, everybody was really happy.
Yes. You like I said, Ty Tessman, Cole Ogden, two of your drivers, two of the fastest drivers at this race. I would easily say that both of them could have won this race as well. When you got the news, how did you feel? What did you expect? What was you feeling? And I'm assuming you was furious.
Yes, to be honest, yes, because the first thing that you imagine that you are too far from there. So this is really bad for me. This was really bad for me because I was here. I can do nothing to solve the problem or to try to find a solution because I was here and really for me was really bad.
Okay.
And because I think Adrienne Bertin sent me a message before to the end of the other semi-final that the call was disqualified for the fuel tank. Then after 3 minutes, also Tessman and Messi. Oh my God, what's happening? And then when TJ told me no, Mayfield is in, I was really completely crazy, but not for Mayfield. But why him yes and Ty and Cole no? So but I think that was normal because I was really crazy because I feel that we could win the race.
Yes. So I know there's a strong rumor that you believe that this was, or not you, but the rumor is that this was all set up against Hot Race and whatnot. Do you believe that, or do you feel there's some sort of way to prevent you from, because maybe you guys could have won that race? Do you feel that may have played a part in it?
I like to not believe.
Okay.
But to be honest, I am not 110% sure. Okay. I like to not believe because I like the sport and I like not to believe.
Okay. I know Cole was very upset. Rightfully so. He should be upset. I mean, this has happened to him before, not with fuel, but just, getting where he had to, be down a lap and he couldn't, make it up. So him and Raw have a history. Brent, real quick, how do you feel about it? Because you have some strong feelings about that as well.
Well,
about Cole, to be honest, he was really crazy after the race.
Yeah, we know.
And, I told him we can do nothing right now. So keep calm, and we can do nothing. The only thing that we can do is continue to work and win the next race.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
Yeah, that's a good attitude. It's the way to look at it. I mean, these things are sometimes unfortunate, but when it's all said and done, it's frustrating as it is, and as hard as you guys worked, that the result can't be changed at this point. I feel very, very strongly that that the tech procedure could be definitely changed and possibly revised to be different. I feel like maybe if heat does play a factor, and if you can, this is all if. I can't be 100% certain, but if for whatever reason the conspiracy or the thought that a tank can be expanded through the pressure of filling these tanks up with fuel after while they're hot, if that's the case, then maybe pre-tech them before, if they're legal, allow some form of an allowance, a CC allowance after, whether it's a half a CC, 1 CC, whatever, just anything that prevents this kind of controversy from happening, I think is the major thing. What Keenan was saying, like, maybe it was some kind of something out to get Hot Race. versus the other brands or whatnot. That's obviously it's probably fun and crazy and wild to think that in the industry, and it's obviously always possible. Cole is a polarizing figure in our industry. He's fast. He's a guy that doesn't really care what people think, which personally I love, and that's what I'm all about. He's not really polished off, but neither is Mayfield. So you got those two, and then you got Tessman, who is very polished and who does care. So it's one of those things where you could see how the different people acted, how they reacted. I just think that there's got to be some better organization to the event, and there's got to be some revision to these rules. I'll tell you right now, you got to uphold the rules. I'm not saying they should have done anything differently. Consequently, I think that maybe being that exact same thing happened to the top two guys was very ironic, and they just both happen to be hot race guys. It just seems a little weird that those two guys had the exact same thing happen. So I'm bummed for everybody involved. I'm bummed for Roar because I think Roar could do better. And that's my biggest disappointment with this whole situation. We work all year. Everybody works all year. Matter of fact, everybody worked for 2 years to get to this race. And just to show up and get shit on like that, I think was bad. And Roar was so unprepared. I mean, little things like showing up with a box of numbers that didn't even get us through 2 rounds of qualifying for vehicle numbers.
Yeah.
2 years.
They also had we caught them like arguing with each other.
Yeah. I remember.
Like really, like they wanted to get out of there so fast the last qualifying day. That's why they just said, hey, we're going to run 9 mains and get out of here. I mean, in hindsight, it was probably the thing to do because rain did come right after the final. But I just felt lack of practice. I know we all want to think that this was a conspiracy thing. I actually, Nicola, I interviewed Raw, the president, before I did this live, and they swear on it's nothing like that and it's nothing involved. And they actually are now going to look into testing out that theory about the tanks, if pressurizing the tanks actually expands them. That's what they told us like an hour ago.
To be honest, the thing that I not understand is why the day before was everything okay, because both Cole and Ty was both always in top 3, top 5, always all round, and was okay.
Yes.
Then in the semi, magically not okay.
I understand that, but another factor that we have to factor in, on the Sunday was the hottest day. We saw temperatures almost to 100 degrees.
Yeah.
And that was
30 minutes as well.
Yeah, and that was the first time that they actually got to drive more than 7 minutes, really, on a tank. So I don't know. It's either I went back and looked on a interview by Adam Drake in a magazine, and this actually happened to him at the 2012 Nationals. He got disqualified after running a historic qualifier, because his tank was too big. And he said in his podcast, in his interview, that we find that the tanks expand and contract, but we are now thinking that maybe the tanks get to a point where they expand and they don't contract anymore. So I don't know. We have to test this theory out and see if it works.
I understand this because happened also to me 7, 8 years ago in European Championship. Yes. I won, and I was disqualified for the fuel tank. In the semi-final was okay, and the final no.
Yeah.
So I can understand that can happen, but I think that if a fuel tank is okay, after 10, 15 minutes, that become colder, cannot be good. It's impossible.
Yeah.
It might be a fault. It's only my opinion.
Understandable.
Yeah,
I understand that.
I think what they should do, like, because it was clear that it was only the first 2 cars they checked, because it was only the first cars, which is also the first cars they checked. And I think that just tells us that what happened was the cars, when they checked it, they were still really hot. And when you put fuel in and you fill it to the brim, the tank just like kept sort of the kept sort of the form, the expanded form, and the other guys who had to wait for, let's say, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, the tanks got the the expansion sort of wore out. The heat went out of the tank and it compressed back to get together. And when they checked those tanks, they were already back. So I think if we're gonna make changes to the rules, I do believe that if we change the rules to every main, like every like semi and main final, you have to wait at least 5 minutes after all cars have shown up to tech, and then you can check the tank, or 10
But
minutes or
now
whatever.
we do like this. When both semi-final finish, they start to check the fuel tank from the first semi-final.
Got you. So they let half an hour cool down, 45 minutes cool down.
Yeah. The thing is, if you were to pre-tech them and they went out legal and they came back 1 cc, 2 cc's over or something like that, then that just tells you that if they're legal when they go out, have some form of a allowance for post-tech. Or the other thing you can do is like what Mike Fuller's been saying. He said it today on Facebook, and then he's also, I believe he said in the chat, is just put more pistons in your tank and go out. If you're not going to try and do a 10-minute run, then why do you need to go the 10 minutes or to try to get the full 125 cc? So I mean, I still think that the rules are a little bit old and antiquated, and they need to be revised. But if they were pre-tech, so everyone's legal when they go out, great. And then when they come off, if they are going to go that route, figure out exactly what the expansion's like, doing the testing that they say they're going to do, which for them to say they're actually going to do something outside of an event makes me very, very nervous and happy at the same time, because I don't know what they're going to come up with. But yeah, I mean, do something that it makes sense. If you're going to do the testing and you do see that it does expand, well, then make a ruling that says, okay, well, pre-tech, here's the 125, and post-tech, we're going to allow 1 cc, 2 cc of expansion, whatever that number is, that at that height of illegalness, of post-tech.
I think, to be honest, that in many things, rules are really old.
Yeah.
So not only on fuel tank, but in a lot of things.
Yes.
That you cannot improve because you have too many rules.
Well, the rules are so old that they don't even have. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't even know if they've got a truggy in the rule book, and if they do, they definitely don't have the body. So the controversy over the body.
It's a gray area. They said
it's very gray.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's all bodies though. That's all buggy body as well. There's no rule for it. You can run a body that covers the tires in buggy. It's still in the rules.
Really? Okay.
So it's
interesting.
It's dumb.
It needs an overhaul.
It needs a huge overhaul.
It needs an overhaul.
They're so old.
It does. And I've been saying
Nicola,
this for a while, but it's people don't really care.
Nicola,
I care, Max.
Yeah, we care, Max.
Yeah, I know we all do. We all do. But like the Efra, Ifmar, Roar, these guys don't really care. They care when there's issues and there's like when they get bad press, that's when they start to care.
Right.
But this can be a catalyst to change. I mean, we've been talking about this. We had a great interview with Mr. Kleinhagen and got some of our suggestions to him. But I think it all comes down to, if we want to change this, it's either we all become raw members, because we can vote. Well, the people can vote regional members into that can make a difference, or we just say, hey, let's start our own organization catering to offer it. It's simple as that. It's either one of those two. But we definitely have to get the old guard out, get new people in, and start doing things. And if you fix Raw, you fix Ifmar, and Efra will follow. So that's just my opinion on that. So Nicola, I know this is kind of also this a similar situation happened to you in 2018 at the Euros when Coelho used your tire for the whole race and then did it in the pro line. So it's like it seems like you get these very close to getting a national championship, or in that case a European championship, and it's taken away from you. I feel so bad for you, but like you said, you won at the end, because I think Hot Race picked up a lot of new East Coast racers and Southeast racers. I heard a lot of people talking really good about Hot Race, and you won that battle, but you did not. Unfortunately, you got taken out of the war. So
Yeah.
I feel
But
sorry for
don't-
you in that situation.
Don't forget that 2 drivers still made the main for Hot Race. That's still
Yes.
more than ever before. Even when 2 of your top guys got DQ'd, 2 guys still made the main, which is incredible.
Yes, exactly. I with what's happened with the Bruno with Coelho was completely different.
Yes.
Maybe feels similar, but completely different because Bruno was not my driver.
Yes.
And is not my driver. Bruno choose whatever he want. He was all the week or better. The first days he tested all brands. Then he chose my tires for the race.
Hmm.
And that he was in the semi-final. He won, if I remember good, the semi-final with my tires. Then really 30 seconds. 30 seconds before the main, he was there with my tires. 30 seconds before the main, change it. And I didn't know because I didn't see him.
Hmm.
Then I talked a lot with him. I understand he, of course, understands my situation. I understand him, everything okay. But the feeling is different because now you know that your driver
Yes.
that work for you and that drive for you cannot do the race for outside event.
I understand.
So it's really different. But the good thing was that in the main we had 2 drivers and 2 young drivers, and I really like that.
Yes.
Of course, I wanted to have 4 drivers in the main or
Yes.
3. It's okay. It's normal. I wanted to win the race,
Mhm.
but the feeling was really good to have 2 young drivers in the main. And Ryan, as you can understand, I have a good relationship with
Yes.
Ryan. He's first of all a great guy. He helped me a lot. And he's my son. So I have, of course, a good, great relationship with him. So I was really happy that my 2 top drivers was not in the main, but that he was in the main.
Yes. And it was good to see Mechanic. He's a Northeast racer. It was good to see a Northeast racer make it as well.
Exactly.
And Ryan,
I don't know him. I never met him before, and to be honest, I didn't know that he was using my tires. To
Yeah.
be honest,
he's good.
because he can take care of him.
Yes. And Ryan was fast all weekend, to be honest. He had a good, he's improved a lot and he's looking good and has a potential. So what's next for you guys? Hot Race, that why we got you on her so we can talk about that. And then we're probably gonna get off the line with you and then we're gonna go dig into the actual race. Hello? Hello? Nicola.
Hello?
Yes. Are you there?
No, nothing.
Okay, can you hear us?
Now it's okay.
Okay. What's next for Hot Race?
Yeah. Next, you mean next project or?
Yes.
Next project is, to be honest, I want to continue with to produce more to produce more and more tires. I want to start a GT class project, and because I think that this class in the next few years maybe will be more popular, and this is popular especially in Asia and in US. So I think that can be good for my company, and of course I want to improve. I don't like to say, okay, yes, we are maybe the best tires, but we not win the race. We not won the race. I want to win, so I want to work for win, and I hope that in next year and the future, and I want to always improve and always do better and better. And also try to improve my company in US, because as you know, now we have company in US, but I want to improve also the company in US. But to improve the company US, I must come there.
Yes.
But due to the COVID, I can't.
Okay.
So I hope that in September everything will be open again,
Yes.
and I can come there for some months and expand the company there and try to do more things.
Are you going to Portugal next month?
Yes, I go.
Okay.
I go there.
Well, tell Madman Marco I said what's up. He's still one of my favorite racers. Congratulations. Even though you guys did not win the race, you won the battle for the tire company. I believe, even though another tire company won, you guys put up a good show and impressed a lot of seasoned racers around in this area. And yeah, thank you for coming on. We appreciate your time. I know it's getting late there in Italy. We're gonna go in and dig into this race. And yeah, man, keep your head up, and we look forward to doing exciting things from Hot Race.
Thank you so much, and hope to see you soon, very soon.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay.
Take care, Nicola.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
You know, the one thing that we need not to, to be overshadowed and pass by is the fact that Ryan Mayfield was so dominant.
Yes.
And Ryan Mayfield is somebody you don't ever bet against. And right now he is on a tear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he dominated DNC. He won buggy at
Silver
State. He won both classes at the Nationals.
He won the NNRC Cup.
He won the NNRC Cup. I mean, I don't want anyone to think that he didn't deserve to win by any means. Like, I'm a Ryan Mayfield fan, 100%. And I don't want that to be overshadowed by controversy no way by any means. However, I would have loved to seen him race against Ty and Cole, who were very, very fast last weekend. I think that's where I'm kind of in I'm a little bummed out that this controversy caused two of the fastest, actually the two fastest out of the semis, the last two fastest people to run before the main event to not race.
Yeah, we got robbed. We got robbed of a great performance.
As for spectators, we got robbed for sure.
Yeah. I actually do believe this would have been like the first challenge, like the first real challenge for Mayfield this year. Because to be honest, like at some points it just seems too easy for him, especially in buggy. Like Chuggy, he's been like Tebow beat him at Silver State, but like buggy and the mains, especially qualifying, he's still getting beat once in a while. But like buggy mains, it's incredible. It's just like domination. He always wins by a lap or something. It's just crazy. So I feel like this was the first race of the year where anyone had anything on Mayfield, even a chance.
You know what?
I mean, that tells a lot about him too. So
you know what? Before we dig deep into this race, I have to pay bills. Sorry. So you know what? I would like to say thank you to Techno RC. They are main sponsor of this podcast. So here we go.
Techno RC. Techno RC is a premium manufacturer specializing in 8th and 10th scale high-performance off-road RC buggies and trucks. Visit www.technorc.com for a complete catalog of their products. Techno RC. Excellence in engineering. #Techno Takeover.
All right. Thank you to Techno RC. They have been a long-time sponsor of the podcast. Techno RC went into this race with a lot of horses in this that could have won this, but unfortunately, none of them did. And the highest finisher was Jared Tebow, though, and he was the fastest of all of them all weekend, if you ask me. All right, let's talk about this actual race. So, all right, Mayfield won this, but he did not win this right. He was not fast right off the bat. That's the good thing about it. He had some adversity in qualifying, some serious adversity.
I think everybody did going through that front side rhythm section.
Oh, it was very hard.
That was a make or break section, and it didn't matter how long you've been racing, how badass of a pro you were gonna crash in there. Everybody did many times. There was nobody perfect through there all weekend.
I would say this though, the C-Hub cars look a lot better through that 6-pack than the Pillowball. Even though Pillowball cars won, it looked like the Techno. I'll tell you what car looked really good on this track. The TLR. I saw I saw Kothman. He looked good.
Yep.
The Fullers look good. Congratulations, Mason, on making the main. Team Fuller, awesome people. Ashton looked good, Cav looked good, and Fend looked good. Like, but he fended. So who is all his gear was lost to? I don't know who that was. I thought this was more of a C-Hub.
Mayfield.
Oh yeah, he lost all his gear. He lost his truck. He didn't have that, so he started like on the back foot right off the bat.
Yeah, they canceled his flight. They were on a shutdown with Southwest, so they lost his. He pulled, from what I was understand, he had his radio and his buggy, his truck, and all of his kit and everything was under the plane, and so was Truey's. But Truey didn't bring anything. So when Mayfield got to the race, he practiced with Drake's truck, ran his buggy, and Truey never ran at all. Truey just decided not to run.
Yeah. I think Truey would have made that main if he would have run, to be honest. That guy can throw it on some mean laps. So, and then, look, we got somebody, but he missed the raw rant. So, he missed the raw rant. So, I don't know. Let me see if he wants to come in a little bit. Like I said, he had some adversity. The people who I saw struggling, honestly, I felt was the AE camp a little bit for a while. Spencer was on the back foot for most of this week, and he was right in front, right in front of him, and we could hear him like he was stressed out about it. And then you look across, and Aiden Horn's just over there, like come across and like, oh, we got this, man, we got this, and listen to his I like Aiden a lot, raging Aiden Horn, and he was very confident, and I did not get the similar confidence from Rivkin, and it kind of shows. Yes, I think he got 4th or 5th, but he was a very quiet, not uneventful weekend for him. I think he had a bump to the semi, if I'm correct. I can't remember.
No, he made the semi, but he made the B man in truck, and then he bumped to the A.
Right.
So when he buggy, he was straight to the semi.
You might be thinking of Spencer Hecker, who came from the 30 seconds, bumped 5 times.
Yeah, he did. He was
an
insane,
amazing
and he made the main.
Yep.
Wow.
Trury says he has just there for Renchen and Pitt and Ryan, and he did a good job. But still, I think if he would have raced, he would have made the semis. No worries.
So what he lost was just his personal stuff. Sounds like, but but Mayfield lost his truck and his kit bag. So when he got there, he had used Drake's truck just to get some laps.
Yeah.
So
but Hecker did bump up, and made it to the main. I thought that was pretty cool.
5
too.
bumps.
That's amazing.
From the 32nd to the main.
I don't think it's the longest though. I think Chad Bradley has the longest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he might have bumped from a couple of mains back to the the semis and whatnot. So who do we want to talk about first? We talked about Mayfield, but okay, when he did,
let's talk about Associated.
Associated.
We're already on Rivkin. We're already on Rivkin, and guys.
You know what? The feeling that I got from the Associated pit was, I think maybe Spencer Rivkin kind of feels like how Kev felt when he was coming up. You know what I mean? Like, here's this young guy. He's coming. His people like him. He just won the exact RC race. He's finished like 5th in all these last couple of races. He's got a great personality. That's competition for him. And he's only a little bit older than Spencer's only a little bit older than Aiden. But Spencer's like 21, I think. Aiden's 18. But Aiden was cool and fast all weekend. He was and Cole Tollard was good too. Out of the 2 associated guys, they caught my eye the most. And of course, Ryan Pavidis. But Ryan was over at the hot race tent. He wasn't pitting with the associated guys.
I'll tell you, Aiden Horn, I got to see him at Masters of Dirt last year, and he won. He won one of the.
I think he's got fastest lap, almost fast lap.
I'm sorry for not even remembering. I should remember this stuff, but he was in the very last. He was one of the last 2 or 3 guys that could have won the Master of Dirt overall title. But just getting to watch him race here for that race and getting to see him in person. He's been here a couple times, but he was so smooth and so fast. He put so much pressure on everybody. And to watch him this last weekend, so calm. So calm up there. And I think he's definitely on his way to being a force to be reckoned with. I think he's one that we all should be watching out for sure.
I bet you Spencer's watching him right now.
That's the thing. Like, this track definitely is something that associated cars should be really good on. That's at least what I believe, since I'm running the car. And seeing like Rivkin struggle a lot, and then having 4 associated cars in the main, which is I think the most represented brand in the main, it's like that's going to be a difficult race for Rivkin to have, I think. And I don't know if it's the track, if you like that style of tracks, but usually he's good on a high grip. So this could be sort of a wake up call for Rivkin as well.
Yeah, he was all out of sorts. He was. You know how how JQ gets when he sucks right away. He was like that. Like he was just. I never saw him really happy. He wasn't. He wasn't like. It was an inside look. Like I got to see like these guys are human too, and that they feel pressure and all that type of stuff too. And yeah, I just think it kind of got to him. He was kind of on the back foot, and mentally he just kind of. I mean, he did well in the end. Don't get me wrong. Top 5 is great, but yeah, it's different. It's different. And when Mayfield had issues though, when he broke in his third qualifying, he needed a good qualifier. Even though he was in the semis, you would want a good qualifier. You didn't see Mayfield. You didn't see no frustration, no nothing. He just disappeared. Like I was like, hey, where's Mayfield? I didn't know where he was, and I think that's where he's matured a lot too. Where back then that qualifier would have been like, hey, I can't do this no more. I gotta go. See you later. Or I'm pissed off. I'm throwing a radio. That maturity, that is what Mayfield is. He's got that maturity now where that doesn't happen. He just like probably went and chilled out somewhere, gathered himself, and then, man, he just like probably just had a good night's sleep and came back on Sunday and just killed it. When he won Truck, man, I was just like, oh, he's gonna. I thought he was gonna win Buggy anyway, but man, like I honestly thought that tie. I think Cole could have done it. 60 minutes is a long time, but the only other two people that was on his pace or faster than him, I think, were really Ty and Cole. To be honest,
yeah, I mean, we'll never know. That's the problem. Yeah. We'll never know.
Never ever know.
I do actually believe one thing about regarding the pace of the drivers. So I do believe the higher grip on Sunday, which came up after the rain and the high temps, I think that really hurt Fend because he runs, like as we talked about on the podcast before, he runs really high roll centers, which make the car a lot more twitchy and easy to roll over on higher grip. So I think his setup sort of bite him in the ass in the mains. Definitely more than in the qualifiers. And this is the issues he's been having at DNC and all that. And earlier the week when the track was a little bit more slippery, a little bit more sort of free flowing, I do believe he could have actually won the race if it was like held on Friday or Saturday instead of Sunday when it was super high grip.
And you know how that track came around. I heard they spent over $1,000 on detergent or soap, right?
I guess we've heard contradicting things. I from what I understand, they knew that when they put the sawdust down and rolled it in, they've done this many a times where the track comes in a full bite.
Oh, it was beautiful.
So the sawdust, I mean, once again, like I said before, the hands down, they were so prepared and they were so ready. They knew exactly what could have happened. They were ready for it. And I mean, watching Krista take the 4-wheeler and the trailer to the neighbor's house, getting full loads, coming back, they knew that it could happen, so they were prepared for it to happen. The track was raceable in an hour and a half after a downpour, and they got the lower mains in that night, which gave us the opportunity to have a decent Sunday without being there till midnight.
They worked their butts off. Let me say something, dude. I think I was thinking when I came on, that sawdust kind of mixed with the mud, and like the rain kind of washed all that soap, not all of it, but washed the soap away, and the track got really soaked. Like that corner, that 180 for the 6, that track smoothed itself out. Yeah. Like I can't explain. That track fixed itself, and it just was the smoothest, and it was so high bite. It looked like concrete. So I'm thinking maybe the sawdust mixed.
He did steamroll it a little bit. Okay. So he packed it in. All right. And once that top layer got like knocked off on Saturday night from the lower mains, on Sunday when they blew it all off, I mean, it didn't take but a couple races, and that thing was coming in hot.
Oh man,
like it was starting to look really good.
Slicks were key. Like Bruno said, Mayfield went on a lower compound tire because he knew he'd be on slicks, and he was counting on it, and he was dialed on slicks. He just couldn't get off the line.
Right.
But on that line, oh man, it was amazing, and Aiden too. So, and one thing I want to also mention is that Mayfield adjusted his fuel strategy, I would say halfway through that race. At first, he was on where he would have to do one more stop than Aiden, because Aiden was stretching it out. Yeah. And then I just think that Drake and Truey was like, hey, you're gonna have to do one more stop, adjust your driving, and that's when you saw Aiden like Mayfield drive slower. Aiden was catching him up more. Mayfield literally adjusted his driving so he could stretch his fuel out and do one less, on the same pit strategy as Aiden. Do you know how hard that is to do when like you got to hold back and you got to do that? Like, you're faster, but you got to do this. I thought that was absolutely amazing. That's when you have Adam Drake, Truey, and that type of experience behind you. That made a big difference for Mayfield.
It was like with 15 minutes to go, Aiden was a straightaway behind.
Yeah.
He was there. I mean, it looked like, and then you start thinking like, wow, if he really is going to be able to go one stop less, can he come out right behind him because of, the strategy? But Mayfield got it done. I mean, he never really got out of line. He crashed a couple of times. I was standing next to Paul Wynn, and he crashed going down through the six pack one time. And we're like, your heart stopped. And then they went over that a few laps later, or 10 minutes later, he jumped over the the double, and somebody got into him in the air. I don't remember who it was. He was lapping him, obviously, and they crashed down in there. And I mean, you got to think, like, at that point in time, of guy that's 45, 50 minutes into a main event that he's dominating, to have just one silly thing like that go wrong and destroy a race. But his car held up. I mean, kudos to them. Their cars are beast mode. His driving is like top notch, above the world right now.
I would say so.
I don't think there's. I would love to see, all the time those guys racing against, Ungaro, Ronafolk, all our top pros, Tessman.
I would have loved to see Ronafolk on that track, or Ungaro.
Absolutely.
And just kudos to Aiden. I can't stress how much I like that. I like him.
Yeah,
he gets it. Great personality, has fun. And he was joking with us all weekend. When he did get serious, he just put his earbuds in, sat down, and did what he had to do. And generally, he was kind of working on his own stuff the whole time, I would say. Wouldn't you agree, Mike? I had to bring Mike in here. He's sitting over listening to us. He doesn't want to come on screen. Big shout out to Mike Hill. Couldn't have done it without him. All right. Let's talk about do you want to talk about Fenn real quick, Max? Because I know you want to. I have to say, JQ is right. A tiger doesn't change his stripes. Fenn, once again, is probably the fastest guy there, but once again, he fends himself, and it's unfortunate. And he probably should have done well on this, a lot better on this track, because of the way it was on the Sunday. So, what do you think about Fenn, Max?
I've been saying this in every podcast after, I think, PNB, and that this is what JQ brought up already at DNC. I believed at DNC that if his engine wasn't as lean as it was in the main, he would have won that race. But I believe his engine was too lean. At PNB, it was really clear. It was the car, and here and Silver State just confirmed it even more. So I don't actually believe Fenn does anything wrong at the track. Everything he does wrong, he does at the pits. Be it his own choice, be it the team behind him or whatever. But the way they set up the car is destined to fail in the mains. Again, a TQ, a very good showing in qualifying, and an awful main. I don't even know where he ended up. Very, very far back.
Don't go too hard on him, Max. I mean,
No, but I mean, at this point, it's like
when he was out there.
Yeah, but Cav's car looks completely different. JQ already went through this before in the podcast, and I'd be nice to him, just like I was at DNC when I said probably if his engine didn't go as lean as it did, or at PNB I was still hopeful for him. But the thing is, like, when it happens race after race after race after race, and even years after years, the same thing. Really good in qualifying, really fast, and then just cannot keep the car on four wheels. It's at some point you have to blame yourself for that, right? At some point you have to be like, hey, we need to change something, and I don't think they do believe that yet. And at this point, it's like,
you want to know what I think it is? You want to know what I think it is? And Michael and I had 8 hours to talk about this on the way on. We think it's the radio, man. And Mike was just like, man, I was watching him, and he'll just clip pipes out of nowhere. And Mike thinks
no, but that's the car.
No, he thinks it's the radio not reacting to Fenn's reaction.
No, I don't believe that.
I don't know.
I tell
Because
you,
when you drive a car when you drive a car set up the way he sets it up, that's what happens. It's really, you have to drive it really precise, and there's no way that anyone could do that for 60 minutes or even 15 for that matter.
Hey, for a non-driving fool like myself, I drove a TLR Truggy this last weekend for the first time. Borrowed it from the Kothmans, and that thing turns so sharp. Like
I know, I
I'm
can
literally
see that.
turning the speed down and everything else, and I have a different radio. I mean, those cars, the TLR cars, are very, very aggressive. The front ends are very aggressive. So
Yeah.
I obviously it could always play a role in it. There's a 100% chance that could play a role, but the radio is what I mean. But those cars are very, very aggressive in the front end, and I think that like Max was saying, it's more the car to me. I mean, dude, Dakota Finn is literally the fastest kid in
Yeah, I
the
agree
world
with
right
you.
now. Like he is,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
has something that nobody else. He has another gear,
I agree.
but he's for some reason not finishing these races or having issues. Whether he's hard on equipment or like he had the flame out or whatever the situation is.
Look who's here. Look who decided to bless us
Yeah.
with his presence.
Yeah,
It's Peter
I want to say one thing before JQ comes on and ruins
Hey.
this. So
And no finish talking while we're on her too, right? And no,
Yeah,
and you two
yeah,
don't
we're
get carried
good,
away. This is live.
yeah, but the thing I want to say is, when you look at Cav's car, he doesn't have the same issues. Cav doesn't make those mistakes, but he also lacks the speed. So Cav isn't as fast as Fend, but he makes much less mistakes as Fend does. The similar kind, where at DNC he sort of just flipped over at the end of the straight, and here clipped the pipe in the Truggy main and flamed out. Stuff like that is exactly what me and JQ have been talking about, and why the car is set up wrong for him. It's set up so that it's really freaking fast, but it's set up so that it's destined to fail in the 60 minutes at some point. And
It's not set up, it's designed.
Hey, before you get
but
started,
Cav
I
doesn't have
want
the
to do
issues though.
Oh gosh,
No, but
JQ?
Cav drives differently.
JQ,
Has
Yeah,
all
but-
has the same issues.
I'm gonna mute you, JQ.
Well, could be.
I got to do an ad read. Wait. So, here at the NNRC, we're all about the glory, and that glory is Nitro. TNR Fuels is the hottest fuel in the market, owned and operated by Chris Nelson and his family. Made by racers for racers. TNR Fuels is currently available throughout the USA. For more information, to support the company, or to purchase some fuel from them, visit www.tnrfuels.com or contact Chris Nelson directly at chris@tnrfuels.com, or find them on House of RC or Facebook. All right, Joseph.
Hell yeah!
You can now talk. And now he doesn't want to talk.
Did you just give him the right to?
Now,
actually talk?
Joseph, I know how
What?
you and Max get when you get together. So we have a little bit of ground rules here.
Yeah, English only.
English only, and no rudeness.
We only
No-
did that because you were messing around. You were doing something that was ruining the podcast. So me and JQ
No.
get company for our Finnish fans.
Think before you say it. Think before you say it. Think before you say it, Max and JQ, because this is live. All right.
Okay. I'll be nice. I mean, I remember. So don't forget that I have posted false and defamatory posts about a certain brand, So,
Yeah, we don't want you getting another letter.
yeah.
Oh shit!
notice
I
of
should have
cease
probably
and
thought
desist.
about that before I said anything.
Upon examination, it's obvious that your statements were malicious and made with the very intention of damaging my client's business reputation. My client has suffered irreparable damage to its business interests. So, yeah, I have to be careful here.
I'm surprised you've only gotten one of those, to be honest.
I mean, yeah.
Well, now
sure.
Horizon is buying up more brands, so there's
No more-
less and less things that I can
Less
comment
you
on
could talk
without.
bad about.
No more AKA
Yeah.
for you, Joseph.
Yeah. So no Proline, aka what's next?
Arma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Joseph. You and I just talked to Roar. I mean, did you want to talk about some more about the race and some of the drivers there that impressed you real quick?
Yeah, so I think that Mayfield has now officially transcended American racing, and he needs to start racing against Europeans.
Exactly.
Mayfield is basically too good for all the other Americans at this point. They need to get their shit together or just stay home. Like, what's the point?
He's definitely the
So-
best in the United States,
Yeah.
100% right now.
If we want to get Mayfield some competition, then we need to get him to race against the Europeans.
I do think that Ronafalk is probably the guy that can beat him right now. But Mayfield just had so much practice this year, and he's been so dominant. He just comes into it confident. We know Ronafalk super confident.
Ronafalk's been practicing.
Right, but we know Ronafalk super confident, and I love the Viking, and I think he can do it.
Yeah,
and he thinks he can.
What?
He knows he can do it. He'll tell you that he can do it.
We had this conversation yesterday on the phone, and what I said was, Ronafalk is very confident, but Mayfield is just mentally stronger. Like Mayfield is like, he either throws his radio, and I think he's past those days, but he either does that or he just dominates. He's like, no one can beat him. He has bad days.
Mayfield got the monkey off his back when he won the Worlds.
Yeah,
I think that was his issue. He was close so many times and always failed. And all his sort of racing friends won world championships around him. And he started doubting that, is he ever going to win? And then when he finally did, it's like, well, now I've done everything. So fuck all you guys. I seriously think like that's his attitude now.
Yeah.
Like this is fun and I'm good and I'm just going to win. Like he doesn't have that worry or sort of fear of failure anymore. So.
But I do think like 2018 when he finished third or second. Oh, I think he finished third. I think I could like when you saw the video from the banquet, I think he was still a bit pissed. So I don't think he's like fully like I don't give a shit anymore. I just need to win. But I think he still has some. But he's like for sure he's much more like I'm the dude. I'm the guy. Like he's much better off now than he was like before 2017. But I think the 8-scale worlds is still sort of a thing like with him. He definitely wants to win that.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that the reason he is actually the best right now in America, at least, is because he actually is one of the few drivers that really knows his shit. So when he goes to a race, he isn't sort of questioning. Like a lot of the drivers don't really know what they're doing. And they aren't sure what they should run. Like, if we look at Tebow and Cavalieri, two of his closest competitors, they don't know that much about setup. Tebow struggles with his confidence level, and also he doesn't really know what to do to the car always. Cavalieri, I think he has a bit more of an idea of what to do to the car, but he's also not really someone to really look into car setup and test different things and know what to do. He just believes in his talent level to take over. Mayfield, on the other hand, he actually practices. He tests all kinds of different stuff. And he has Adam to also bounce ideas off of. And Adam tests all kinds of stuff. And Truey is working with them. And he has Jason Rona also with the tires. Like he has a good group of people around him. And they are all focused on the same thing. Figuring out all the things about the car and setup and what to run and in what conditions. So when he is at these races, he knows what to do. He knows what pistons to run. He knows what tires to run. He knows the setup changes he needs to make. And that gives him more confidence also. Because he has tested this, like he knows what he's doing. So he goes that extra mile away from the racetrack to be ready to win these races. Mm-hmm. And it even goes down to the fact that he doesn't sign contracts for the biggest paycheck. He signs contracts for what will give me the best opportunity to win. That's why he's running Mugen.
I agree.
Yeah,
so those are all the things that come together to make him right now the best racer in America. He isn't a better driver, in my opinion, than Ryan Cavalieri. I don't think so. I don't think he's mentally stronger than Ryan Cavalieri. I don't think so. But his dedication to his craft is stronger than Ryan Cavalieri's.
Yes, I agree. It was bad, no Cav there, but he popped a bolt like a 10-scale car. It popped off his steering link or something like that.
Yeah, it was a really strange failure.
Yeah. They popped it back on, but he wasn't able to regroup. And it was a shame. This is why we need an LCQ. This is why we need a damn LCQ. Then all them races could have been in there, and you could have taken those 2 races out of there. And we the viewers, the spectators would have had a great race.
The LCQ rather than taking the next 2 fastest would probably be a great idea. Give everybody a 10-minute sprint or 12 minutes, something that you have to do a pit stop. Give everybody a sprint for the last two versus doing the last two spots off over on the fastest. I think that'd be a way better way of doing it.
So Tesman and Ogden could have raced an LCQ, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, they could have. And
DQ'd,
that's what we do at Euros. That's what we do at Euros, and it's always been great since we started doing it.
Yeah, I like that idea personally. I think it's great.
Yeah.
All right, Joseph. We kind of went on about Roar, but we got Brent here. He wants to rant about it. Oh, before we go into that, right?
Can we talk about techno though?
Yes. Oh, right. I forgot about that. All right. So let's talk about techno.
Look at you're hard up, man. You're ready to blast somebody.
How good? Let's see how good their lawyers are.
Oh gosh.
God.
No, I'm actually fine with it, but I think. Do you have the video, Keenan?
Yeah, Rowan. Can you bring up the video, Rowan, please? Is he there?
Let's discuss this first. What's going on here? Go on,
all right.
Keenan.
Well, as soon as Rowan brings it up.
Is this the average Joe video?
Yeah, I sat across from oh my gosh.
Is this the end of the race video?
Yeah. I got it.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
I was right there. I saw the whole thing go down.
Me too.
Jesus.
I missed the first part, but then I caught the second part. Rowan, where are you? You're supposed to be.
But let's discuss because there's.
All right, so we're gonna play this video.
Are we gonna do the video?
Here in the buggy class. I don't know. You guys can match that. Go to fence. Down enough to come in. Had the flame out there. Towards to get it. He got within 4 seconds.
He had the inside you didn't give. He had the inside and you didn't give to him. You do it. Jared, thank you.
To Sean Van Dalen right there. Do you want me to say?
Yeah, I couldn't hear what he said.
So I guess Sean comes in and he's trying to like just see what's going on, and Joe says, "Fuck you." So at that point, Sean was Sean's like, "Bro, I'm just here to talk," But so I knowing a little bit about the dynamic of that whole situation, and I watched Joe walk down because I was actually hanging out with Van Dalen at that very moment and talking with him, and he came down and you heard it in the audio. He's like, he's trying to kill me out there. I'm like, bro,
I didn't see the incident. What happened?
What? Yeah, I mean, evidently,
I guess it was at the start.
He went wide, and Van Dalen put it in underneath, and then I don't know if Joe come back across him, but he got, he felt he got wheeled, and Van Dalen felt like he was just doing what he needed to do. Because I mean, look, you're racing the best of the best. You have to get every position you can.
I have to say, and I'm going to give Van Dalen lots of credit. He bounced back from a lot of adversity this weekend to finish and to make the main, because I didn't think he was going to make it. He was so far after seeding, he just battled back, and talking to his dad, talking to his girlfriend. They were, they needed that. They needed it not to rain on Saturday, so they can get another qualifying. And I'm very happy to see him fight back like that. And he did. I don't know what position he finished. Let's see.
Qualified to the C, or he seeded into like the C or D sort.
Yeah.
Like he was way down there.
He finished 8th. I think eighth is a good finish for him after what he went through. Jared Tebow was the top techno guy. I sat across from the techno pits. The entire Brent did too, because he was right in front of us. And everybody looks like they're smiling, but I can just tell you, and even talking to people in techno, that there has to be a lot of competition going on in there.
A lot of chefs in that kitchen.
And I think techno is just like, hey, this is how we explain it. Here's a knife. Here's 2 knives. You guys go at it, and the last 2 standing, you guys are going to be our team drivers. And I have a feeling that, like we said, Joseph, when you see this, the 4 or 5 go in, 2 will come out, and which 2 will come out, I don't know. But when you got that many good horses and good drivers, you are gonna get some internal confliction.
That's why average Joe is getting mad.
I agree.
Yeah, I do. He kind of should feel threatened. You know what I mean?
He hasn't had the best year.
Yeah, but I don't see techno getting rid of Joe, to be honest.
I don't see him getting rid of him, but I don't think they're going to be cut down to two pro.
You think they're going to have more than that?
Well, I don't think they're going to have more than what they have now. I just don't think they're going to be cut down to 2. I could definitely foresee one leaving.
Yeah,
this year, after this year.
Yeah,
I
mean,
can honestly see Seth leaving. To be honest,
I can.
Yeah,
too.
and the thing is, like, I mean, this video is only the small story. If we look at it, like the big picture of Seth being sort of given a cool down period or whatever, that was missing PMB and all that, and like having that done
he did get
before.
suspended
Also,
for that. By the way, I did find out he
Yeah.
did get suspended. He was like grounded
For what?
by
for
apparently
using his own parts, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it was for. So
Yeah, and that's why, and this is the second time that's happened to Seth. And if I'm not 100% sure because I don't know this personally, but if that's the reason he got suspended, and if those suspensions are in fact the real thing, then I'm pretty sure Seth actually should leave on his own, and most likely the team will kick him as well. Even though, in my opinion, he's the fastest guy out of the team. He just needs to get his program set up so he can do that every year. Well, but like Tebow is most consistent, but I don't think
Tebow
he's
is
the
more
fastest.
consistent and faster. Tebow isn't going anywhere.
I mean,
He's the veteran.
Yeah, I don't see Tebow.
I would tell
but
you,
Tebow is their number one driver, but I think Seth has the speed to be the number one driver. He just needs to get his race program to the level that Tebow has it. He doesn't have the experience yet.
Yeah. Also, I want to shout out Joey Bourdon, man. Joey Bourdon, he finished 22nd. He just
with the Chick-fil-A hat.
Yeah, he just missed making the semis, man, and just missed. I think in truck, he flamed in truck leading. Dude,
on the 15U.
Dude, that young man is made such leaps and bounds in his program. It's amazing. I mean, Techno just has all these youngsters in waiting like him. I can't believe how fast he got.
Fast.
And not only that, just the amount of young racers that I saw in the high, not just in the semis, but in the higher mains that were displacing these older guys. It was encouraging to see.
Hey, that reminds me. You know, a few years ago, we had this talk where we said that the new generation has arrived in Europe. Like, there's tons of young kids. But who's in America? There's no one in America. You remember?
Oh,
it was
arrived.
just a few years ago.
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, they all arrived, basically.
Yeah.
Already some in the main, Aiden Horn second, a bunch in the semifinals, quarterfinals. Like, they have arrived now. It's funny.
Yeah.
It happened quick.
Yeah, there's a lot of them too. It's not, that's the problem. Like, you remember when we were talking about the semis and how the odd semi was like a world final almost.
Yeah,
So you're throwing some Europeans, it would have been a world final, but you go back to the 1/8s, and there is a ton of talent in the 1/8s that didn't make it up into even the semis. So these are kids that are going to be winning a lot of races, and it's going to be a very competitive future for Nitro or A Scale RC.
Man,
all RC in America.
I got to shout out to Ashton Abdul and Lil Bump.
Yeah.
They both were great. Ashton was good. Caden Fuller.
Ashton
Connect was good.
Semi bump by a spot. He
Really?
was so fast. He did so good.
Really?
I think he finished 4th in this. In his 1/8. So
the future looks good in that case. Remember, it looks like it's the Midwest, Joseph, though. The Midwest is the Italy, like I said, the Italy of America. These guys are coming out there fast. I mean, even Cole Tollard, man, I met him for the first time and watched this guy race, and he hasn't really raced much, and he's 20.
Yeah, he does a lot of 10 scale up there at trackside,
and he's fast. He is fast.
Scotty Ernst country.
Yeah, so it's impressive to see all of this. Kudos to all the young racers, like especially like the Fullers. I'm super happy for them. They work hard. Ashton, Lil Bump, Joey Bourdon, all these guys. It was impressive to see them to perform that to the level. Like these kids, these young guys, they're not scared. They're not like, hey, Joseph, they're taking what you said. Don't be a fanboy, be a champion. They're doing it, but they're just they're getting there. I think so. I really do. All right. Anybody else impress you? And then we'll move on from this race and go on to something. We'll go on to a little more.
Can I say my final thing about Techno though?
Sure, Max.
We already sort of went through this, but I mean, we kind of talked about this yesterday on the phone too. Like Techno, like these type of things, if they happen often, the suspensions, those kind of fights after the main, this team looks like it's in the brink of exploding. Really, to me,
I would say that They have that's a good problem for them though. It's on the brink of
Not really.
exploding. But if
It's in
people
brink of
their
exploding.
teams are
Like
gonna stay
everyone
there.
hates each other and wants to leave.
No. The top guys want to leave because they want to be number one. The people, the actual team is in good shape. Like the amount of people that they had there and running Technos was impressive.
Oh yeah, but that's not really what we care about on the show, right? We care about the guys who make the main.
Well,
I
care about everybody, but I care about the pros.
Yeah, but like on the show, I mean, like I care about everyone running RC, but on the show we don't talk about the guy who finished 60th. We talk about the guys who made the main, you know.
Yeah.
So when I'm talking about the team, when the guys don't want to share setup info, when the guys hate each other, they don't want to pit next to each other, that's a dysfunctional.
But they were pitting
team.
next to each other.
Yeah, but as you said, they were fighting. They were like they were all smiles.
No, just
not
Joe
really
and
having
Seth
a good
was
time.
fighting. Joe and Seth were fighting, but you can see that they like it's just all them guys want to be number one, man, and only one person can be number one.
Yeah, but
you don't a lot like TLR and AE. Those three teams all have a bunch of either up and coming superstars or already superstars on their team, and there's gonna be the inner rivalries. There has to be, because everyone's fighting to either get a paid contract or get more out of their contract or to become contracted. I mean, that's just the way it's going because there's so many good guys.
I mean, if I was a team manager, I wouldn't want this. I would want them to keep it on the track, race as hard as you want on the track. But then on the pits, you're friends and you represent the team. You don't fight like that. That's something like that should never happen. And you should always share setup info, all that. Like that's exactly what happens. Like you could see in like professional motorsports, like actual motorsports, every time when shit like this happens, the team goes down. They lose every time. There are no exceptions on this.
We need this. This is just like Senna and Prost or Lewis Hamilton and what's his name? Not Bottas.
Yeah, but Techno isn't winning anything. Like if Techno wants to win, they have to get rid of the situation. Well, with this team, if they keep doing shit like they're doing now, and with the car they have now, they will never win. They need to change things to win.
I think they have a good problem to have. It's going to be hard to manage all those egos, but I don't think they have a problem with winning.
Yeah, I agree. I think they'll be just fine.
Well,
I'm just wondering if Joe is going to. If Joe Bornhorst is going to get any kind of suspension for an event after that, based on, like Van Dalen getting suspended for testing parts that maybe could have helped the whole team. I mean, I guess you could see it either way, but like the way he conducted himself, if you've got some kind of code of conduct for your team that he went well above and beyond.
Yeah, especially to a teammate.
Right, to a teammate at the very most. There should be a penalty.
But I mean, what happened? This is exactly what happened with Cav and Rivkin. Cav throwing a tantrum at DNC and getting suspension for a few months, and that definitely like unsettled the team. I mean, it's not unprecedented. So I think that's what the worst case scenario here is: the team breaking up. And I mean, I don't see Tebow leaving anytime soon, which is great for Techno because that's the only guy they really want to keep. All the other guys they can get rid of them and get replacing guys if they want to.
Yeah. Also, shout out Jermaine Robinson. He was good. It was good to see the West Coast guys come over and race. A fast young guy. He did pretty well as well.
A lot of fast dudes from Arizona, man.
Oh man, I know. Captain Line looked good. I mean, Heckert was super impressive too. Yeah. Like I can't to bump up that far, and it was only a couple S-Works there, to be honest. Camden and him, a couple other guys. So they did well. I have to touch on Lutz too. Lutz looked very good all week. He just had some bad luck in his semis. He looked good. Yeah, Lutz has still got speed.
Bad luck. What happened this time?
I think he
it's
he flamed on the pits every single time. I mean, come on. I mean, if I ever have this issue myself, I maybe have a different perspective. But I mean, come on. How does this happen? Like, how do people mess up like this? I don't really understand it.
It's not luck with Lutz. We've been over this. You can't race for 20 years and never finish a fucking race, right?
He still got the speed, though. He still got the speed.
He did have speed, but he whether you call it luck or not, he just was flaming out. He had a lot of flame outs in there.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's where LCQ
flaming out of the pits is something that shouldn't just happen.
Well,
I mean, if you can just rev the engine and
that's all.
Well, that too, but he would have probably flamed out in the LCQ as well.
You have no faith. All right.
No, but he
I get it.
every
I
single
get it.
time he came into the pits, he flamed out. So even he would have to use a bottle, or then flame out in the pits.
Okay.
You know.
All right. I think that's enough. About that, Max, because he's getting all serious. Take it easy, Maxie.
No, but
Easy.
I mean, here's the thing. You guys are like, well, I don't know what happened to Lutz. You all watched the race. You know what happened to Lutz.
Oh, I didn't watch him
Don't try to
flame out.
play
I
nice.
couldn't see him flame out. I wasn't watching
Okay,
that
okay.
part.
I give you
That-
the benefit of the doubt on this one.
That's what happens when you sign for a paycheck. See, that's what Mayfield didn't do. I guess he was
Yeah.
lucky.
You have a point there.
We
Joseph.
aren't saying anything bad about Mayfield because he's doing his shit right. You know.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can't.
he's doing just fine.
Just fine.
He's just lucky, right? That's
Yeah,
it.
he's lucky.
No,
Right,
that dude's
that's
prepared.
what-
He's good.
Yeah,
He's on fire.
He earned all
exactly.
10 cases of Coors Light. He's gonna drink this week.
Shit, he drank it that night.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right. You know what? Let's pay some bills and let's go into the final part of this podcast. A little rant on Raw, and then we'll take some viewer questions. You know, I want to shout out to the Sun City RC Raceway. They are treating us good, and we love the Showers family and Corbin. Happy belated birthday, Corbin.
Set go.
NNRC Raceway, the home of El Paso's world-famous motocross-inspired 8-scale off-road track. The Showers family has over 20 years' experience creating one of the premier tracks in the USA. Their world-class facility has everything: handicap accessibility, covered beds, skate starts, space for parking RVs, trailers, and lights for night racing. Follow SCRC on Facebook under Sun City RC Raceway for updates, upcoming races, or host your own race.
Yes, thank you to Sun City RC Raceway. Shout out to the Showers family. JQ's favorite and biggest supporter, Joey Showers. He loves JQ and Joseph loves him. Thank you to those guys, and happy belated birthday to Corbin. And real quick, Checker Past also brought up a good topic. He says, concerning flameouts, temps were huge. Humidity was huge. That's what really messed up that rain and all that stuff came. And that did affect them on main day. I mean, Lutz came in and he had to, Tebow came in one of his qualifiers and was so rich. So he had to come in and he missed that. And it could be. I don't think it was too high up there. We was at some altitude, but not too high. But it was just the hot. It was very hot and very humid on Sunday.
Sunday was the hottest day of the week.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
you go all week, and everyone was tuning to what it was, and then main day, for most people getting limited track time, it was the hottest of the week. So
yeah. All right, Joseph. I probably should have played the rant. So I know you want to rant a bit about Raw, and so does Brent. So let's take some minutes here to talk about Raw. Joseph, you and I just interviewed them. We talked to them. So we probably have a little better perspective on things. But who wants to go first on the rant? Is it you, Joseph? Or
Joseph does.
Joseph, you go first.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, my rant is a bit bigger picture here, I think.
Also, don't
it's
make
not
it
about
20 minutes long.
It's not about the fuel tanks or the truggy bodies, really. My rant is more the same things that I've said about EFRA. The thing is that we now have professional racers. Their job is to go race. We have brands that pay drivers just to race. We have professional race organizers, event organizers. We have brands like J Concepts spending a lot of money on racing, also sponsoring their own series and organizing their own events, paying drivers like Ryan Mayfield. Jason goes to the races. He goes and tempts the track, tries to figure out what compound to run. Like, these guys are taking this shit seriously, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have Team Associated. They have a long-standing history of finding young talent around the country, getting them into that Team Associated program. Some of those guys progress through the ranks, become factory drivers, but they support all these guys, not just in America, but worldwide. A lot of good young drivers and Max race Associated, right? So they also take this seriously. right? They spend time and effort and money to work on their racing program. They do a great job of doing that. We have all these different companies, and they have all different kinds of strengths, but the passion is there. They love racing, and that's what they do. So I think that all of these people and companies deserve to have a good governing body that shares those values, that cares about the racing and wants to improve. If we have the same fucking issues, sorry, I shouldn't swear, it's live. If we
it's all right, go ahead.
Lefty can't edit. If we have
he acts like that was the first time he swore.
Yeah, if we have the same issues for decades, why don't we fix them? Why doesn't Raw look at figuring out the better way of doing things?
Thank you.
Why do we have to keep doing the same thing and it just not progress? I want to see some progress. These companies are improving their tire compounds and tread patterns and cars and pit presence and everything they do, social media presence. All these companies are doing things to progress, but what's holding us back is not these individual companies, really. What's holding us back is our governing bodies, our federations, like Raw in America. They show up to the race, they don't know what's going on, they decide that people just stand in line for practice at the premier event of America, right? Just stand in line. Then they decide at some point that, oh, you can just run as much as you want, I guess.
No, I don't think that was Raw though. No, it wasn't Raw.
No, that wasn't Raw.
Isn't Raw running the race though? It's their race.
Well,
like,
this was Wednesday's an unofficial practice day. The track's allowed.
Even that.
However,
like, what the hell is that all about?
Why is there an unofficial practice day though?
So the track can make some extra money.
I would assume it's so that the track can have some income. I mean, it's no secret.
Yeah, but should Raw pay them though? Should Raw pay them the money and then
agree,
hold
but
their own race better?
enough.
Yeah. So
maybe.
Anyway,
yeah.
There's obviously options.
Yeah, much better options than what happened.
I'm
maybe
not disagreeing.
maybe 2 days of Raw official practice would have been great. Like,
yeah.
So we need these governing bodies to improve what they're doing. We need them to become professional, because that's the only way that we can improve from where we are. And one thing that also frustrates me is, and one of the big reasons I also left social media is because I'm so tired of basically ignorance. Or like, you can have different opinions, that's fine. But when your opinions aren't based in reality, or your standard of what you think is good is just so way off, it just frustrates me. Like, if someone thinks that this is the best we can do, this was a great event, if everything's great, we don't need to change anything. Well, I mean, come on. That's just not true. So we need to raise our expectations maybe a bit also, and not just accept every year. It's a good example is DNC actually, where the same drivers always say like, screw this race, and they're not coming next year, and then everyone shows up the following year. Like, there's just this thing of like, people complain, but they don't do anything.
It's FOMO.
And people on the outside looking in, they accept things that shouldn't be accepted. They accept them as, oh, this is awesome, this is great, when they really aren't.
Yeah, so I don't know. Those drivers you talk about that keep going back, because I hear it all the time, even at race time events and stuff. It's FOMO. They have a fear of missing out.
Yeah.
And so they go because they want to be at the biggest races, and but they'll bitch and complain about it the entire time. And you hit it on the head. You got to have some solutions for problems. You cannot tell me that in 2019, the last nationals that we got to have in Thornhill, that it went off so perfect that you couldn't improve.
They actually did a rush job.
I agree. And so you go from 2 years of not having to put on a sanctioned event basically, and you show up and you do the same damn thing you did 2 years ago. Where was the improvement? See, I come from the train of thought of, if everybody comes and has a great time at my event, I want to have them come back and have a better time at the next one. Why would you want to just be subpar and be okay with this is how we do it? And I'm not saying you bend the rules, change the rules, do anything like that. I say provide an experience. The Mamas provided the experience. Roar provided the
bullshit,
the downer of the week. Like we could have all just had a national event put on by Mama in the same format, without Roar, without paying for a membership.
And we would have been out of there by 8 o'clock every night.
And crowned a champion, and I would consider them the national champion.
Yeah.
That I think that's where I'm having a big issue is we all covet, the industry. I say we all. I don't personally, but I know that it's what the manufacturers go for. The manufacturers covet a national championship.
Yeah.
Yet we don't have a organizing body that cares about the national championship.
I got to talk to a few manufacturers, and they share these same concerns. And you know what the general consensus is? We as the manufacturers need to come together and fix Raw. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. But also, we the people need to come on and try to fix it. Joseph, we kind of talked to Raw, and we found out that people can become members. You can vote in your rep to your region, your regional rep, nominate and vote them in. And it's either we do it that way or we just completely just do a whole new off-road association. But I don't want to do because Raw, if we fix Raw, we fix it.
No, we don't need new ones.
No, we don't need a new one, but that's what people are calling for.
You cannot have the manufacturers fix Roar.
Yeah, I don't.
And you can't have the people fix Roar. The internals of the organization need to fix their organization.
Right, I agree with that.
You cannot have influence from outside to fix an organization that competes against other manufacturers. You do not want that. What you need is somebody with a backbone that's willing to put in the work and time and effort to grow this organization and bring back RC not only just to the national level, but bring it back to the regional level and help grow the hobby in general as an organization. They're not doing anything of the sort. Nothing. Yeah. They literally do not care until they show up at that race. And even then when they show up, to me, it looks like they don't care.
And that's only going to change if it is a professional organization, because then it's their job to do it and their pay depends on it. Like that's different. Now when they're volunteers, it's literally like that social club that he said it's even listed under. It's like, let's go, let's travel around the country and go to these races and be important.
You can still have a nonprofit and pay the people in charge so that they get compensated for their time. And yes, professional or nonprofit, as long as somebody is a full-timer, you get 2 or 3 full-time people that's all they do in an office, and it could still be a nonprofit organization, which is fine. But you still have to put forth the effort. I mean, so little effort was put forth towards this event. It's 2 years in the making, and they literally, the simplest of details, did not have enough car numbers to go on all the cars for qualifiers, which they require from us as a racer.
Yeah.
Just simple shit like that drives me up the wall.
I agree with this. Vote people in who have the passion. So that's my whole thing. You get people in these regions, like maybe you, or let's say you're the region 2, I don't know, whatever. You want change? If you get more people like yourself, they say I run for this region, I go for this region. If you get more people in there that want to change and push Raw forward, you can start actually, Joseph and I both agree with this. Raw can be the catalyst to fixing RC.
I agree.
Because the American market is so big. It's bigger than any other market. I don't care what you two say. You think Europe's the biggest, but American market's super big. And they race every weekend here. If we can fix Raw, then we can fix RC and the rest of the federations. And that starts by getting people in there that want to progress forward, get these old guard out. And there are probably people in Raw that want to do things differently, but their hands are tied and they can't. They should have had more staff at this race, but they couldn't because they couldn't. No, you don't want to pay because this is our big paycheck. Raw gets most of their money from 10 scale and 8 scale nationals, and the on-road community benefits really good off that, and they only got about 80 entries to a race. It's time that the off-road people had some sort of say and started changing things because we need to fix things.
But the on-road
get off your soapbox. I don't think that's really an issue. The issue is that they don't care enough, and they will never care enough if they don't have to care.
Exactly.
So that's where the problem that I have with our industry and also races, not just the brands. That's where my problem comes in, where these brands complain, but they don't make a stand.
Yeah.
Like they could actually help to change the industry for the better, but they don't. They go to these races and get DQ'd and have weird rules and all this and complain, but they don't do anything about it. If they just came together and said, like, let's come up with some demands and then put it to Raw. Like, if you don't do this, we're not going to the nationals. Like, if the brands did that, Raw would have to abide by those things, or at least they would have to talk. And
as
they would
long
come
as
up
all
with,
the
okay, that's
all
what
the
we'll
brands
do.
would have to agree on that demand, though, because if not,
No,
then you're just
no.
showing some form of, you know.
They don't
favoritism.
even all have to. If Associated and Horizon and who else, Mugen decide like, hey, we really need to change these things, and Techno win the nationals, like, no one's gonna care. Who cares? Like, you have to make a stand. One brand can't do it. You get enough of people together, then you can do it, and that's what has to happen. Like protests in the street, protesting, disrupting society, that doesn't change anything, right? Looting or destroying something, it doesn't change anything. Having picket lines, it doesn't change anything, but it creates an atmosphere and an environment where change can happen, because there is outside pressure on government to make some changes. People who are in government who are saying certain things start getting listened to because the people are not happy, they are upset, they are revolting, right? So that fact that people talk and complain and moan and piss and moan and this and that, or protest, that doesn't make the change, but it helps to create an environment where things can change. Do you see what I mean?
I agree.
That's why I hate it when people are online and they're like saying that this is so awesome and great coverage, and when it's not, like, just people should openly voice their discontent with race organizers, with coverage, with Raw, with everything, with the negative aspects of what's going on. Why do they look through everything at rose-tinted glasses at some point and just like, oh, this is best race ever? Like, I don't understand. Then you meet them face to face and they complain about it. Oh, this is so shit. I don't get it. Especially people in higher positions who are respected in the industry.
I personally believe that we have been trying nicely. Like we have been trying in EFRA. There's been people like Oscar Janssen who took something to the table in 2005. Jake has been some of the meetings. There's been people who've been trying to change EFRA from the inside for over 15 years, for sure. And the thing is, the nice way didn't work. In the Roar, we can try to do what Lefty is trying to do. We can do that as a backup. But that's another nice way. And we have proof that the nice ways don't work. So the manufacturers, the racers, people like us now doing the podcast, we have to be like, hey, we have to make Roar and EFRA scared that there is actually an option, and an option that most people probably will support. And when they get scared, they have the fire under their ass and they're going to do shit. Well, right now, we're going to be like, hey, Roar, you got to be better. You got to be better, right? Next year, you're going to be, right? Okay, you're going to be better next year. That ain't going to work. That hasn't worked. It will never work. And that's because they don't really care. As long as they aren't scared, they aren't going to do anything. But when you're scared, there's a will, and will find a way. Because Roar will want to exist. And to exist and to be sort of the governing body, the main governing body in America, and IFMAR to be the one in the world, and EFRA to be one in Europe, they will have to do something to survive when there's something to take their position away. So we have to make them scared somehow, be it us, the racers, be it the media, RC media, or be it the manufacturers. Whatever it is, everyone has to come in together. And it doesn't matter if Techno says, okay, we're going to go to nationals, or whatever brand it is. It doesn't have to be Techno, obviously. But if at least like half of the brands say, we're not going to go, and we're going to do this other race, for example, RCGP or whatever it is, it's a DNC or whatever, and they say this is national, whatever it ends up being, if at least like over half of the brands say that this is going to be the thing, the rest are going to follow because Roar is going to go down and they're going to get scared and they're going to either change or go away.
They're scared now, though. I'll tell you that. That's why they
Yeah,
reached
but
out
they
to
need
us
to be scared
to-
enough to do shit to change.
I would be
They're
interested
scared,
to
they
know.
are
If,
still scared enough to change.
I would be interested to know if while you guys talked to Chuck earlier, and I don't know what you can or can't say, but why he wasn't at the biggest Roar event of the year.
He said he had to be close by. He had family situation,
Okay.
so he couldn't be there. He wanted to be there, but at the last moment, he had to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is why I've actually been pushing so hard for RCGP, for example, working with like Lifetime and other lap counting softwares to have them implement new racing formats so that they're ready to go for race organizers. And speaking with race organizers in Europe and in America, sort of lobbying them to run a different format, lobbying American races to run with a schedule, like trying to get these people to change their ways, right? And show them that they can still make the same amount of money, or they can make more money by doing things differently. Because if these things exist in the world already, if there are races that are more fun, if there are races that take less time of your day, but you get the same or more track time, if these things exist, then it's a lot easier to make that positive change, right? Because you don't have to try to get these federations to do something that doesn't exist. You just show, like, look, why don't you do it like this instead? So, yeah, that's another aspect of it. People need to speak truth to power. Also, people in the industry, brands, people who are racers who are respected, they need to be honest about these issues and confront the federations, right? But also better options need to exist in the world. New racing formats, events, series, you know? So there's two different things.
And I don't think the main thing about RCGP was that it was a series. I don't think that was even the first thing that made it anywhere different than the Worlds. I think what made it different was the attitude behind it. The attitude was to make an experience for fans, make a product that actually can someday sell to viewers, and to make RC something that is actually a sport that people want to watch. I don't think what made RCGP special was that it was a series at all, really. It could have been just one race and be just as great as it was. And I think that's what EFRA and Roar and these federations are missing out, because Euros are great, yeah, but they're great because of their being there since forever. And it's not like it's not great because the race is great or organization is great. It's great because of its legacy, and that's all they have right now.
Yeah. All right. I think we all feel the same way on this. Before I go into we're going to take a few viewer questions and then we're going to head out of here because we've been on this for 2 hours. We got to drive back to North Carolina. Ryan Mayfield won the NNRC Cup. We saw the virtual series through. He won 3 races out of it and he won it. We got some pictures with him. Of course, Joseph's upset. He's like, why didn't you get a better background? Well, Joseph, there was a hailstorm and tornadoes coming.
Yeah.
That's probably why.
Excuses. It's just like why? Hey, it's just like why didn't
it? It was like working ants.
Why didn't you crop this podcast video better so we don't have to
See?
look at your balls all day?
Hey, look,
like it's the same thing. It's attention to detail.
Hey, I literally, when I took the picture, I grabbed it, and then Mike was like waiting at the entrance, and I came running around the corner with this thing. Like, could you imagine me running with a big trophy?
Keenan ain't running. Keenan is walking fast.
I ran.
Yeah.
All right.
He's checking his balls.
You haven't run in like 25 years.
And all this type of stuff. Bad
The whole
position.
time he's been looking at your balls.
Of course he noticed
At
that.
least he's got
Hey, look.
Manscaped though. He's got like a clean
Manscaped.
balls with Manscaped.
We barely escaped a tornado, and he's like, "You need to get a back." Well, would you like us to get a picture of a tornado in the background, or maybe we can take a picture from the tornado?
Listen,
that would
it
be
didn't
cool.
happen in
That would
30
be
seconds. You could have very easily got a better picture. So stop with that excuse.
Hey, you just don't understand nothing. You weren't there. You know what? If you was there, I would hope that tornado would.
This is exactly the attitude that Roar has. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear it from you.
Dude, them guys,
better.
you don't. Yeah,
Be better. Do better.
Shut up. You be
Improve.
better. You be better. Improve.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Keenan,
All right.
you're roar right now, though. I mean,
Oh my
this conversation is
gosh.
exactly what's roar
I can never
versus
do
everyone
anything
else.
right for this guy. Hey, here's $1
You should
million.
run for Raw president.
I would be a great Raw president. I'd get voted in no time. No way.
Exactly.
And I'll
Someone
change.
would come to you with a complaint, and you just give an excuse.
Oh.
Yeah, you would say there was a tornado coming in.
All right. We're gonna open up the let's answer some questions here real quick. Matthew J. Forget, why is there a shortage of 8-scale electric motors? Sensor boards do not use the chips that are short supply worldwide. I don't know. I didn't know there was a shortage of 8-scale electric motors. Is there a shortage, Brent?
Well, there's been a shortage of a lot of things in the electronic world. You know, between FETs
PlayStation
and
5s.
Semiconductors is like the big thing. Transponders have been on a shortage because
Really?
of semiconductors, but I think that we're going to start seeing that stuff turn around over the next 3 to 6 months and get back to normal.
All right. You guys have 5 minutes. We're gonna take some questions. If you want us to answer some questions, let us know. And then we're gonna wrap
I want
this
to
up.
address one comment I saw before.
Go ahead.
Someone said you don't make positive change with fear, you make positive change with passion. And he's right. He's definitely right. But the thing is, when there is no passion, the fear is your only option. It's the last option and worst of the two. But when the passionate people are being suppressed inside Roar, and the people that actually want to do things get their hands tied together, you have to make those people who are in charge and not passionate fear, because that's the only way they will do anything. And when you get those people out because they get too afraid, then you get the passionate people in. But if passion doesn't make the change, fear has to be the one to make it. That's just my take on it. That's the last option, but that's what we have to do.
We have to be the catalyst for change. We have to speak with our votes, with our money. And if you feel that a race isn't worth your money, don't go. And that's the only way you can change things. Just save your money. Go support your local club or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the hardest things, though, as far as, for people being in the industry. For instance, manufacturers, or, I spend a lot of time and effort and money in advertising it for our website. And, as much as I don't want to go because it's supporting something I don't believe in at the moment, it's such a tough, very few people are going to be able to just say no. Very few. I understand the concept. I believe the concept. And maybe we need to figure out some form of a revolt towards it. But
yes,
it needs to be more than one. If one manufacturer doesn't go, the other guys are going to, are capitalized.
I agree with you there.
And that's the issue with that situation. Now, I'm all for going in with other people and saying, no, let's not support it until they actively show us they're doing something to better the organization and help the industry in 100%. The ways we need. But until then, what do we... if I'm the only one that doesn't show up, motors or website or whatever, and my people are there, I feel like I'm letting them down in a sense.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, but that's I think that's why you need people to connect. You have to be let's say another manufacturer. Let's say a big East Coast race that's really bad, or let's say Roar Nationals. You have to connect with other brands and say, hey, at least these 5 big brands, we're not gonna go. Then you can say we are a team together. We think alike, and you have to be bigger than what Roar is at the moment to make it work.
I agree.
I agree. That's the thing. You can't do it. That's why we have unions for workers, because the boss is always the powerful one, and that one worker can't do anything. But if they all unite, it's much more powerful.
Here's Kyle Chase wants to know who's in charge of Raw. Chuck Kleinhagen. We interviewed him today. Mike Lopez, is the ENETs at max cap? No, the ENETs never seems to get a big turnout. And I did talk to Lee Setzer. I know a lot of people thought that track's a little bit small, but he said they're going out 40 feet on each side with a roof before the ENETs. Hopefully they got a good showing. JQ Max, what's your take behind the Shock Tower truggy bodies? We did go over that, Barry, but real quick, Max and JQ.
I don't think JQ really cares, but I can say I already talked about this last weekend. But the thing is, I do believe actually this. I'm going to be honest here. I think the bodies look better, but the thing is, if people really like the old style, you can make the rules so that it's pretty easy to make the rules that you have to use the old style bodies. It's not that hard, but I think I think though, the thing is though, I really want the truggy class to go away. So I don't think I'm gonna be the one to give any good advice to truggies, because if you look at it, like I would be really happy to see like 2-wheel drive 8-scale buggy, something like that, because we have 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. Those are different cars, everything different. But having a 8-scale buggy with the longer arms and bigger tires, and then racing a smaller one, which is just a basic 8-scale buggy. Why are we racing that at the same race? Like, I don't think those cars are different enough where it makes any sense to race them. I would be really happy to, let's say if gas truck just stayed, I'd be really happy to have gas truck as second class and an 8-scale buggy. And to be honest, I would really like to see like 2-wheel drive 8-scale buggy. That would be, I would probably race it like more likely than truggy.
You know what? Truggy's not going anywhere, Max. I think they actually look like truggies now. I think they look like truggies.
Well, the Proline body looks like a buggy.
I think they look like truggies now, because it's supposed to be a cross. I never thought that a truggy looked like a truck, really.
Well, maybe not.
Maybe one of
the Techno and the J Concept very much so look more like a truck with the bed the way it is, the cab. But the Proline, my only concern is like a lot of people were on the internet saying that these bodies are morphing into just bigger buggies, like Max just said. And if we can't like figure out, or what's the word I'm looking, just make them both look so different. And why have them both at that point? I agree, but I have a truck body, and there needs to be rules that what that body has to fit within, thing to keep it looking like a truck body.
Yeah, I think to make it so that the body goes over the shock tower on the front, and that's it.
Yeah, but to me though, after all, I already wrote a comment on Facebook. I don't remember exactly the wording I said, but the truggy has been just a bigger buggy for a while, but now with the new bodies, people are realizing it. Pretty much a comment like that, because if you look like now when they have buggy bodies, people are like, oh, that's a buggy with bigger wheels. Yeah. The body was the only factor that changed. So why don't we have 2 classes with buggy cars and then just put a short course truck body on the buggy and call that truggy? Problem solved. You don't even have the second car. You can just run the same car, both classes. We can have truggy and buggy class. You don't even have to buy those super expensive tires.
Right, we get it. You don't like truggy.
Because it's pointless.
It's not going anywhere, so relax. Would monthly meetings with Raw be beneficial with members? Well, apparently they do have virtual meetings.
I was about to say, what's stopping them now?
Apparently they do. They said.
Okay.
They said.
Yeah, to me that's a no-brainer. If you want to meet with your regions or your faculty, why aren't you having a great big meeting right before nationals? All right, guys, you got everything in order? Hey, does everybody have the number stickers for the bodies?
Yeah, that was,
like what? Oh, I mean, there's 15 freaking sticker companies in this industry that would have made them and next day aired them if it needed to be done. It's silly.
At least I got you a nice plaque. Serpent Muggy Maniac wants to know, why is Serpent not more well known? He just built the SRX8 Evo, and the QC is top notch. Why did they used to have a great team? Then they got rid of. They didn't want to pay Paul Ciccarello a living wage, and he just left. That's pretty much what happened. And Serpent just.
They focus a lot of their attention on road, which kind of leaves off road to be right at a step child.
Couple more questions, sir. Mike Lopes, and then we're gonna wrap this up.
Okay.
Who is the person or persons to push the manufacturers to go to Raw? Identify them and drive this forward. A pillar in the industry, as example, need to push this, but also have the means to reach the audience. Here's the issue: people are scared to shut.
The person is JQ. The person
everybody hates JQ.
Yeah, and everybody hates him. So
the issue is that a lot of these guys, are worried about their paychecks at the end of the day, so they can't say what JQ says. What happens is things like this podcast can take the heat for those guys, where they can have a bigger voice later, I believe. So, and it takes the people, man. Take the people voicing their opinions and supporting things like this, and getting behind these initiatives to do different things. That's all. I think at the end of the day. All right. Region 5 does not exist. VP is cool guy, but there's nothing in Region 5 I ever see. Well, maybe you should nominate somebody else to run in that region. They're doing the odd regions this year, apparently. So, all right, guys. I don't have really much more to say. Well, we got Jay Smoker in her. What's up, Jay? How you doing? Jay Steichlever. Y'all kind of just talking in circles. It's simple. Manufacturers shouldn't go and support ENETs, then don't go. Yeah, that's what they have to do. But all of them kind of, you need not just one. You need like a couple of them to do it. If just one manufacturer decided not to go, it wouldn't really do nothing. You need a few. And it's just about getting them to do that. They're not going to do it though.
Yeah, if A and TLR say we're not going to the 110 scale nats, that's done. Those nats are over. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more with Jake, and I touched on that just a little bit ago. The problem is if AE says they're not going, and then TLR goes, and TLR wins all the nationals, and AE gets snubbed, and for whatever reason, those national titles mean something, whether or not AE's there or not. So everyone has to do it together, or it's not going to happen. That's the fact of the matter. If everybody doesn't get together and do it all at the same time and boycott it at some form or fashion, it will not matter.
I agree. Hey, JQ, Kevin Thompson wants to know what's your abbreviation for ROAR, and then I think that's it for us today. I got to drive back to Charlotte.
I only thought of some non-PC ones, so I'm gonna have to skip this.
Does the disqualification? No, I think because anti both finished in the
they finished last in the semi.
Yeah, so they finish in the top the percentage to go to the worlds.
Which Ty could go to world regardless because he's a champion, a world champion. He's got provisional no matter what. So
yeah.
All right.
Really old antique races.
What's the IFMAR one?
International Federation of Men Arranging Retreats.
Okay. I gotta say the one stupid thing I heard them say, because we caught them arguing with each other and all that type of stuff, right?
That was
I saw that guy Jeff Parker on his phone, and all I kept thinking, he's calling Javier, and Javier is just saying heritage. Remember the heritage. And also, what was funny is in the races, in the drivers' meeting, they go, and yeah, you can turn on your radios in the pits. Oh yeah, well, probably with 2.4 gigahertz, you don't need that.
Oh my god!
And I was just like, you mean we only had it for 15 years? You didn't get the memo?
That's what I'm saying. They're so unprepared. They're living in the past, man. Like it is so bad. So
oh
bad.
my gosh. I just want to say before we wrap this up,
maybe they will find this podcast in 10 years.
No, the disqualification of Ty and Cole does not hurt their chances to go to the Worlds. They still qualify.
They qualified
top 40.
Yeah, they just finished at the end of the semis. With all that being said, I want to say
Smoker just added a letter.
Yeah, just to thank everybody that I want to shout out and say thank you to the LCRC family. They made us feel at home. They ran out the red carpet for us. They made sure we had everything we needed. We had great pit spots. We had everything covered. I 100% believe the only reason that race ran so smoothly was because of them, period, not because of Roar. And I want to say thank you to all the Northeast racers and who gave the NNRC some love and invited me over to eat and drink beer, even though I didn't drink beer. And just, it was good to see the Southeast racers. It was just good to see everybody again. I really had a good time. Joseph, you really, and Max, you guys have missing it. We're not going to any race. You might not go into any races. It's really good. Like, oh, who wrote that?
We just went to a race a few weeks ago.
That's JQ in there. I'm going to see, look, lefty sucks. JQ, geez, man. I can't take you anywhere, man. I just saw that too.
Your balls on this stream reminded me.
I got a nice fan blowing on them, so I'm good.
Next time, why don't you zoom in a bit?
Why are you worried about my balls, you uncircumcised heathen? Guess what? We heard a joke about that.
Be better.
We heard a joke about that at the race too. I'll tell you about that later, Joseph. I just can't thank the love. Thank you, Brent, for making the shirts and just being up there. It was good to hang out. I'll tell you what, I met some really nice people. We got to hang out with the Jellens a lot. Really good people. Unfortunately, he didn't make it in there, but great kid, like him. Yep. Just everybody that came over and said hello and supported the podcast. We appreciate that. Bought some shirts from Brent. Brent had some shirts for sale. I wish we had more decals. Stop looking at my balls, Joseph. And
no, we're not looking at your balls. We're looking at the text.
Gosh. See what I mean? I'm gonna have to kick him out of her. This guy, see, he just messes me up all the time. Now I'm all discombobulated. He's gonna do it again. Thank you everybody that tuned into this podcast, tuned into our work that we done. Thank you to Mike Hill for all his help. I couldn't have done it without him.
Yay, Mike.
And honestly, we want to keep doing this type of stuff. We can only do it by you guys growing this podcast, supporting us, share this stuff. And yeah, that's it. Also, we have a competition going on for RCGP. Winners will be able to watch an early release of Driven next month with me. Excuse me. Lefty is ridiculous. Share if you agree. Yes, I'm ridiculous. I love RC. Sure. And yeah, so sign up for that competition, and the patrons will all the patrons of the podcast will join me and watch that. Oh, what's up, Josh Hino? I forgot about Josh Hino because I didn't get to see him before he left, but I like that dude. Yeah. He was stop laughing at me.
Lefty the great balls.
That's so good.
See, this is what happens when we go to the JQ pits. They all gang up on me and they all get me, and I can't do anything but just take it all. It was great to hang out with Josh Hino in the pits, man. Yeah. We had a great group of people around us, man. Yeah. That's what made it awesome. We had a lot of fun.
Well, you know that when I go to a race, I'm only there to party. So,
yeah,
like that was we accomplished that 9.
I didn't party at all, but I just had fun.
What people don't know won't hurt.
I had fun around you and everybody. And yes, Jay says fast as JQ at the fuel nets. Yes, you was, dude.
He was.
He was rocking his JQ stuff. I love that dude. He was doing bunny hops all over the place with his bike, telling us cool stories about when he used to ride. Yeah, I think that's it. Joseph, you got anything else to say before we go on?
He doesn't.
All right. Well, thank you.
Did you tell him cool stories of when you used to run?
This guy just don't stop. He does not stop.
Hey,
you know what? When I see you again, right?
I got something.
I'm gonna smack you so hard. I'm gonna hit you so hard.
Gonna leave a mark. With what hand?
With this, I can hit him with my left hand and hurt him. Listen, he's already felt that.
You need to save your energy for breathing, dude.
I'm gonna slap this guy. Let's slap him.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna slap him. And Kyle, I can't forget Kyle. We had Kyle.
We did have Kyle.
Kyle is awesome.
He's military, so he's we thank him a lot, but he was a good time, man. He's helping Pit, and he's just.
Oh, I was giving him shit the whole weekend.
Yeah, he's a good dude. So
yeah, I like Kyle.
Let's see what my Finnish clone wants to say.
You claim him now?
So I'm Finnish with his immigrant, son of an immigrant. That's what's happening here.
We all are.
Clone. Okay, right. So I wanna say that I uploaded a video like 2.5 hours ago, and this is live, so I can shout it out immediately. So right as you finish this, you can.
Okay, why do you just want to watch the watered down version of what I say, like secondhand information? I also uploaded a video. Just
says the guy who hasn't uploaded in 2 months.
He did teach you everything you know.
Upload earlier today. I taught you everything, dude. So in a few years, when you start saying stuff that I don't know and I haven't taught you, then I'll watch your videos.
Well, how do you know I don't say stuff that you don't know?
Oh my gosh, here we go. Now they're gonna start arguing.
I watched your videos.
See? This is why we can't have them. This is why we can't have you.
So you're already watching my videos, right?
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
I'll be done now.
Bye, JQ.
I'll get back in another 2 year.
Goodbye,
okay,
JQ.
So if you're not JQ, go watch my video. It's actually pretty fun. So
all right,
I think you're gonna like
it. Yeah, we back JQ go.
Bye, Max.
Anyway, let's add this food because he's gonna say something stupid before we leave. You know what? Nitro is shout out to all the sponsors before we leave. That's Mayako, TNR Fuel. This guy is such a. I'm gonna remove him. JQ Racing.
I thought Mayako, JQ Racing, and then just mute.
Techno RC, Lugs RC, Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, Racecraft USA, Manscaped, Wally Bilge, JQ Threads, Beach RC. Come down and check these guys out. We're gonna do some racing here. House of RC, go there, sign up. Remember, the competition for the last sign of Driven is coming up, and we also have an interview with Raw that we'll be posting up. The patrons will get that first tonight, and then we'll put that out for this week. And then you won't hear from me till next week because I'm getting on to Joe Fest for this weekend to geek out with action figures for a little bit with Mike.
Such a nerd.
Just like you, dude. Just like you, 2 inches.
Yeah, but we don't watch stuff and play with action figures though.
That's
I mean,
all right.
that's not
I
bad.
set them up. Hey, you know what? Nitro is the glory. Ebuggy pays the bills.
If you didn't play with action
figures are
figures
what?
when you were younger, you guys are lying to us.
You know, and
Yeah, but
just-
he's 47.
Nah, so what? You know what? And yet 38, and you think you're gonna do good in RC again, and that's just over. You're slow. So get over it.
I will.
2 inches, uncircumcised.
Hey, Hamilton is like 36 and Kimi is like over 40, and they're still doing good in real cars. So
you know what?
I
We gotta
think
end this
JK can
podcast.
be a
We
good
gotta
boyfriend.
That's
go.
different. You can drive
RC
cars at an
isn't
older age.
physical.
Brent, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having us here. And JQ, shut
My
up.
pleasure.
We gotta go.
Brent, slap Keenan for me. Thank you.
You know what? Nitro's the glory. Ebuggy pays the bills. If you ain't grinding, you're
balls.
sliding. Lefty, JQ. JQ's gonna die. Max, Brent, and thank you, Nicola, for coming on. We're out. See you guys later. Thank
Bye.
you for tuning in.
Thank you for listening to the No Name RC podcast. We greatly appreciate all the support and love from you, the listeners. Without all of you, none of this is possible. Special thanks to our patrons on Patreon. If you wish to support the podcast further, you can at patreon.com/NNRC podcast. As a patron, you will receive early releases, special content, and patron-only giveaways. Also, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and our website, www.nnrcpodcast.com. Remember, Nitro is the glory, but Ebuggy pays the bills. If you aren't having fun, it doesn't make sense. And if you ain't grinding, you're sliding. Lefty out. Nitro is the glory. Nitro is the glory. Nitro is the glory.
That wasn't so bad.